All right, Nick Cuvar.
Hi.
What's up, buddy?
Does that mean we're on?
Oh, we've been on
What the?
while we were talking shit about Mike. No, I'm kidding.
Mike Ratcliffe is a good person with a strong P stream.
You know what's funny?
I
I just got another recording of it last night. He's like, you know what? Record this. Fuck Ronaldo.
Dude, yeah, between my age and the extra holes in my penis, I'm not gonna be a part of that game.
He's like, because you're gonna hear a couple streams.
Dude, do you remember? Okay, so whenever Gary Becker was getting his dick pierced on Facebook the other day, I waited until seconds after it was done, and I commented. I was like, "Hey, man, I took my dick piercing out about 17 years ago, and the hole never closed. Good luck with that, though."
You waited till after?
Yeah.
It's like I've got a couple buddies that been doing that new kind of style haircut. It's not new. It's just they brought it back. It's like the long top ponytail and the sides are all shaved. You know, they got the top is long.
Yeah.
And they keep the shit. And all my buddies that grew their hair out, they've gone and done that. And it's like, you're going to hate that.
Oh,
Like,
dude,
why?
Just the man bun or a pony? Like,
It's like a ponytail. They have a ponytail. It's like they grow their hair out long and then they shave the sides of it to where it's just like, and they still have the ponytail with the undershave.
dude, are we talking like a sumo wrestler?
It's kind of like that.
All right. Dude, I mean, I had the...
And I keep telling them, I was like, you're going to have to shave that every fucking week. You know that, right?
I had an undercut just a couple years ago, and that's I wrote a Hitler Youth joke about it. You know, whenever basically, hey, nice Hitler Youth haircut, and I'm like, did you say youth? Oh. You know, just classic misdirect.
Yeah. What's that one sketch that's like that? And it's the white power guy, the black guy that's in the Klan. He's blind.
Dave Chappelle.
Yeah, and he's like, just turn that music down. And the white guys are like, did he just call us the N word?
Cool.
Yeah, which is really funny.
It's crazy how those things are still so huge after like 22 years or something.
Am I that old?
It's something. I'm pretty sure it was late 90s.
No, I thought that was 2000s.
Oh,
Dave Chappelle show, the Chappelle show.
yeah.
Yeah, that was definitely high school. That was like 2004, 2000, maybe earlier, maybe 2000. I might have been in middle school. I'm 32, so I don't. You're 36.
37.
37. You were the senior picking on me as a freshman.
Well, yeah. If I'd have been in high school, yeah.
Oh, you weren't?
No, I got kicked out of a lot of schools whenever I was a kid, and like it was kind of like a last, hurrah thing. Like whenever I got in trouble freshman year, they were just kind of like, all right, you're cool, you're done. But then my therapist was like, hey, let's give him an opportunity to test out. So I got to test out.
Oh, did you test out too? Oh, nice.
Yeah,
I learned.
Dude, I am such an underachiever. They were always like, this is a bright kid. And I'm like, I think I'm going to do music for 20 years and then try stand-up whenever I'm 34.
Well, at least that makes me feel better that how long have you been doing? You started Comedy 34?
Yeah. I've been doing it 3.5 years. Started in July 2017.
Wow, that pisses a lot of people off.
Why?
Because you are probably one of the top dogs I've had on the show so far as comedian. Bullshit. I'm supposed to be, I think, the only other person that's up there with you that I'm going to have on right now, just at your level with your amount of time, polished material. I've seen you. You've done it. You've done, what, 30 minutes at the back door?
At Backdoor
30, 45?
They were 25. I think I accidentally I kind of ran the light once, and I did do closer to 30, but I was supposed to do 25. But yeah, last Thursday down in Perryville, one of Elijah's shows, it's the first time I've done 30 minutes that was consistent. Like, except for my opener. I went up in my opener's 4 lines. Not a single one of them got anything, and I was like, "This is gonna."
You realize you're gonna have to tame down the educated jokes sometimes.
Dude, it was just like in Perryville, you could say any nonsense, and they usually laugh. It just, I don't know. Maybe it was just a weird transition whenever they brought me up. I don't know, but once they locked in, they were cool for the rest of the 29 minutes. Just that first minute, I was like, "This is." I'm probably only going to do 8 minutes and get out of here. That's what I was thinking.
He's like, don't go outside because
yeah.
I did a Perryville show not too long ago.
I'll try to not vape directly onto the microphone.
It's all good.
This is my adult fidget spinner.
Yeah.
Is really all it is.
Yeah, I tried to do it. I tried to pick that up because smoking cigarettes is the biggest thing I want to give up. I want to give up smoking cigarettes more than anything I've done throughout my life. Cigarettes is the biggest one I've always wanted to kick.
I mean, I think other people would beg to differ.
No, well, I've really never, like I said, I would never hit the opiates too much. I didn't like them. I smoked a lot of pot, as you could probably guess, and I still will do psychedelics. I didn't do them. I'm not the type that like does them all the time or do them at parties and festivals. I don't like doing that kind of shit around people I don't know. Because I don't know how it's going to turn out, and I don't want to be the guy fetal position, crying, snot rolling out of my nose, naked with a fucking toy banana hanging out my ass. Don't ask, all right? We don't have to get into
Why can't you just use a real banana?
it. Kept squishing, all right? It kept.
Yeah, a toy banana is more expensive than a real banana.
But I don't like it cold, and the only way to get it up there is freeze it, all right?
I can feel that.
But no, so and I still regularly, not regularly, like once every few months, every 3-4 months, I'll do some acid or some DMT. That one's I haven't really fucked with much since I've done DMT the last time because it was such a nar experience.
Dude, I got out of the game before that was a big, like before that was around.
It's huge now. Like, yeah.
I don't. Okay, so like with all the stuff, I pretty much quit everything a bunch of years, like whenever I was 30, 31, because I got really sick and it was bad. And so I was like, oh shit. I mean, I technically did die 4 times, but I'm here now. And I don't want to die again. That was kind of a bummer. But like for maybe 2 years after that, I was like, I'm still going to do mushrooms once a year just for funsies. But then I don't know. One year my friends were like, hey, you wanna? And I was like, I think I'm good.
Yeah.
I think I've done it.
Mushrooms are I prefer LSD over mushrooms just because I've always felt more in control on LSD because when I do something, I do it. I'm not going to be like, let me just tip my toe in. No, it's like, bro, like you usually hear, whoa, I've never seen someone take that much. What do you mean, man? How much was it? That's like 50 hits of acid.
You do drugs, and then someone in the background just yells "World Star," and you're like, "Oh, this could be an issue."
Yeah, people will start pulling out cameras and shit. Like,
this is gonna get good quick.
That's how my first time doing DMT was like 2008, 2009, and we wasted probably $200 worth of it because we were using the pipe method to where you're supposed to sandwich a little bit of that in between some weed. You know, you pack the bowl a little bit, put some on there, but it's really sensitive. You can burn it up real quick. So if you even touch the flame to it, it burns off all the psychoactives in it. And it was until it started getting like real gooey and caked, and we put it on there, and we spent a ass load of money, like $200 a gram, I think it was going for. But I had seen some like show about it, documentary that I had watched, and I was like, I gotta try it. And when it finally hit, it fucking hit, and it's still not as hard as my last time. It's like they've done something different. I also did it through one of those e-nails in a bong. It's like an electronic little dab rig, but it stays hot all the time. Like the perfect temperature. You can set the temperature on it for different substances. And you take 2 hits out of that, and you have to be sitting down. I was laying on my couch as I was doing it because it puts you out. And I come up out of that bitch when I finally came back to. Was like, well, won't be doing that again. Not for a while. I got some shit to work on. Like all. And my buddy that gave it to me, he's here. I was like, just go get my wife. Go get my wife. Are you sure you want to get her? Because I don't think she's going to be too happy about this.
Yeah, get my wife and give me a couple bottles of water and some Funyuns. Stat.
My bar felt like it was 40 foot long. Everything looked different. And just like, that was the first time I really saw the entities and heard all the different frequencies. Like it came on as soon as I took that second hit, was breathing it in, my ears just started going wee, and it's like, oh no, there's no turning back. You can't. You're trying to blow it out like I changed my mind. And they're like, no way, buddy. and everything turned into crazy geometric Mayan looking kind of, but not Mayan. I don't know. It's really crazy to explain. Everyone.
You know what? You might be? I mean, our couple years difference might change this, but do you remember like Windows 95, the screensavers they used to have, the maze
Yes.
screen? That I just assume, based on what people describe DMT as, that's basically it.
Yeah, but it's a more complex, intricate set of geometry, and that's why like there's this group of guys in Harvard that have been studying it, and they've like mapped out all like 236 different fields of hyperbolic geometric spectrums. There are some shit, and they're like testing DMT and getting people's experiences and having them kind of explain the actual geometry that they're seeing, and they're putting them in different fields, and they're like, yeah, they're thinking because see different shit all the time, it's because you do different doses, and they're trying to map out if you which like realm or whatever you want to call it you go to, because you definitely can break through to a different place every time. Like you can do it 2-3 times in a day, say within an hour or two, and it's a different place that you go. It feels different. It's like a whole nother universe in a way, and like maybe the first time was amazing, and you meet this creature that super feels like you just get this like a big warm hug of intelligence. You know, they know all the secrets, and they pat at your butt, and they're like, don't worry about death.
You
don't
get
worry.
Me Too'd?
Yeah, pretty much.
Oh, damn.
And then you like, I gotta go back, and you go back, and it's like, no, this isn't that. It's her evil sister and shit.
I'm getting Me Too'd again.
Looks like Greta Thunberg or whatever.
Okay, I don't know even who that is, but that name is so funny that
Yeah,
it's funny.
I don't really know. I think it's a kid that's against climate. Climate.
A kid?
A kid. I think she's an adult now. I don't
Okay.
know. I don't know. I don't. Like I said, I called it your acting skills deserved a Grammy. All right. Come on.
I just imagine like a 7-year-old being like, "Fuck penguins." All right, Greta.
Who's got the joke about fucking a koala bear? Is it koala bear?
Okay. That's last time I seen him do it, it was JC, and he did it at Arena Bar, and he specifically said, "I haven't done this joke in about 9 years, and you guys will see why." I'm pretty positive you were there that night.
Did he do it? Be like,
Yes.
you just lost 10 followers on Facebook.
It's because it had undertones of racism. That's why he doesn't do it anymore. And by undertones, I mean blatant.
He wasn't even trying to cover it up.
It's a funny bit though. Monica and I quote it all the time. Of course, whenever nobody's around.
I like JC. I've had him on, and he's really genuine. He's a nice guy, you know.
Dude, JC's he was the last push to get me to start doing stand up.
Really?
Yeah. So like I always credit him with that, whether for better or worse, because I still bomb a lot. But like I don't know. Okay, so it's a kind of a long tiered story, but like so I'd played music for forever, and I just kind of got sick of doing bands just because I hate organizing. And
were you that guy that organized? There's always one. The one guy that's got to keep everyone on time, do all the fucking booking, do everything.
I don't like my voice. Like I can carry a tune, but I hate my voice. And so I was always in my main instrument is bass. I'm way better at bass than I am at everything else, but I can play pretty much anything.
Yeah, my dad plays jazz bass.
Yeah, but like in most of the bands I was ever in, I was the main songwriter, and I was like, but again, it just got so tedious of just dealing with 4 other dudes' egos that I was like, listen, I'm gonna be mediocre, but I'm just gonna do it by myself and have fun, And so because I used to do heavy music, I got booked on this outdoor rock fest, and so I was already like, I've wanted to do stand up for a long time at this point. I'm maybe 33. And for whatever reason, it's a rock fest. I'm booked by just me and an acoustic guitar playing silly songs. And this shirtless drunk dude comes up and sits on the stage with me while I'm performing. And I ended up making my entire set about this drunk dude. because like he's drinking out of a lawnmower gas can type thing, and of course he had to tell me this. I can't see what he's drinking, so he kind of says to the entire crowd and me, he's like, "Yeah, I'm drinking out of a gas can," and I was like, "This." You have a problem, sir. And then, like, I played another song, and after that song, I remember just going into like, I asked his name. I didn't hear him, so I just called him Todd. And I was like, actually, Todd, I just want you to know this isn't a rock fest. This is an elaborate intervention. Bring out the cameras, everybody. And I was like, that was my first time getting a big laugh, and I was like, oh, this is cool.
Yeah, you got a different shot of dopamine.
Yeah,
because you are. I'm sure my buddy Antonio ATG.
Oh, I know Antonio.
Yeah.
He was on one of those rock shows with me. Rock
the
fests.
discrepancies.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's my like best friend. Me and him go back like car seats. I'm pointing at his picture, but
yeah,
it doesn't do much good. But yeah, me and him and his other buddy. That used to be in the band, which is the bass player, was John Maddie's little brother, Daniel Maddie.
That dude is good.
Yes,
we've talked about him before. I've listened to some of their older music, and yeah, dude, that dude. Right now, their bass player is Garrett, and Garrett's good for sure. But it's just a different style of bass.
Oh yeah,
like
yeah,
what's John's little brother's name? Danny.
Yeah, Daniel Maddie.
He just
was funky.
Yeah, he slayed.
Yeah, and at the shows it was even like because he had the long hair and the big huge bull like nose ring thing, the septum pierce, and he'd be up there and he'd just be throwing his hair in big circles and shit, and he would not stop playing. He was the guy that would just go off into a solo and kill it. And dude would be like, all right, Danny, we've got like 6 other songs and we only got 20 minutes.
That was my favorite part about playing bass is like I would play the songs, for the most part, but also like, I was never in a big enough band where people know our songs note for note.
Yeah.
So I could play them different every single, just as long as I'm still hitting the root, but then also doing a over it. Yeah. It's like, I'm not, as long as you stay in key, you can do pretty much anything while you're playing bass, especially in a rock band.
Yeah, I was going to say, in a rock band, it's pretty much a repetitive, because just keeping the beat, the rhythm.
The guitars and the drums are locked in, so they have to play the same thing night after night, but not me. And I was like, fuck it, I wrote these songs.
Yeah, that's true. I've written a few songs. Me and a couple buddies back on the beach, like my buddy, we call him the human jukebox because you just say a song and he can fucking play it on the guitar. Like he's a killer. His name was Alex Walston. But between him and my other buddy that played guitar, and I had me a fucking djembe.
Of course you did. Why wouldn't you have the hippie drum?
Exactly. And then I would put the African smiley face on, and we would sit underneath the pier and play music a lot, or like in my garage. And
None of this is surprising at all.
Yeah. Free 40s, bro. And I did a lot. We did some writing. I think one of the guys has it on like a song on YouTube, and I've seen it out of like just going through his page, like looking at his skate videos because he's a pretty decent skater. And I was like, what is this? And I kind of knew the title. I was like, no, he didn't. And he's got pictures of us and a video of us in the fucking my garage, drunk as shit at like 18 years old, trying to sing a song that we were in the middle of creating. I was like, why would you put that one on? Not like at the very end, the polished shit. Like you didn't even put the polished one up to be like, well, it got better. I swear. So that kind of was annoying, but I always had fun with music. I could never play music besides I play a little bit of the harmonica because I'm really big into the blues. Me and my real father, part of the Blues Foundation and all that other shit. I seen BB last year. He was alive, and I've been really into the music, and it's really pissed me off that I was never as good as anybody. Like I told Monica, my dad bought me a guitar, and my stepdad bought me a keyboard. And I never had the attention to I would try, but I couldn't sit there and teach myself. They said I had this thing called ADHD, and I get it because I know I was a handful, but I don't know if it's real or not. But I don't know. I've seen the way people act on Adderall compared to the way I act on Adderall, and it's two different things. Like me, I just want to read a book and clean my house and relax, kind of like be productive. Everybody else, they're not very productive. They may
Oh
start
yeah.
100 tasks, but it's never done. Like, have you ever been to a tweaker's house? It's disgusting. It's like, what the fuck is wrong with you? And brush your teeth. Like,
Yeah.
you want to clean. That's all you want to do. And I'm fucking jacked up on, like, back when I was a kid. And I just wanted to clean and organize everything, get good grades. And then when I didn't have my medicine,
Dude, whenever I used to take it, it was like for the first day or two I was on Adderall, I was like, Adderall's the best thing ever. I feel so creative. But then day 2 and day 3, and then anything past that is just zombie, full zombie. I'm just going to clean my closet several times, and then that's it. So it's like, I don't know.
I learned about it. I figured out, like, after I watched a bunch of different documentaries about the way that, like, what drugs actually do to your body and do to the brain, as far as, like, the way dopamines and all these different chemical reactions that happen. And and another documentary was all about that, but it didn't have nothing to do with drugs. They're like exercising, going to the gym, it does this and it pushes out this dopamine. And I watched the other drug one again after that. I was like, oh, so you can pretty much get the same effect as like comedy. That's a big, I've yet to have any drug that gives me that feeling, that rush and dopamine fix or whatever, serotonin, whatever the fuck it is.
Dude, I'm chasing one, like from the stage anyway, like one feeling I got in the week that I hosted for Greg Warren. It happened to be Mardi Gras weekend, and I brought back this old joke I had about, it was originally about the Pride Parade, but any parade will do. And basically it was like I went to Mardi Gras. It was so much fun. Makes me think I need to organize a parade for my people, the blind, just because it would be the biggest game of Marco Polo ever. Right? But then I do the call and response where I'm just like, let me hear you, Marco. And whenever the 300 and whatever, because they oversold out every single show for Greg Warren's weekend. It was insane. But all those people shouting at me back, I was like it almost knocked me down. It was powerful. And dude, the Funny Bone, with like how low the ceilings are, and of course that was before pandemic, so they were just packed in.
Oh, this was the Funny Bone. Huh? I've never seen the Funny Bone like that. Like, the biggest I've seen the Funny Bone was, I think, Jim. He comes out here a lot. He was just here.
John Morgan?
I mean, yeah, John Morgan.
Okay.
Yeah, and that was in Valley Parks. Like, I've seen that one packed once or twice
Yeah.
with him.
I've only worked 2 full weekends at Funny Bone so far. But
and only doing it 3 years. That's what I mean. Like, you're killing it.
There are some of the young whippersnappers, like Tommy Mosslander, I think, had 5 or 6 weekends at Funny Bone, and then that other Mexican kid, I'm just not going to say his name the whole show. I think he's done it like, I don't know, something. I'm pretty sure he lives there.
Yeah, yeah. He's always like, oh, I was at the Funny Bone. The Funny Bone. I was like, I never go to the Funny. I don't even sign up for the Funny Bone no more, because every time I go, it's like 3 people there. I haven't been since even before COVID. I was I found that one, the Word Up, the Energy or Dasha.
Oh, Deja,
or whatever. She runs, and that one, like last night, me and Mike went there. It was packed. They had to lock the doors from letting people come in. It's that packed.
What time does that start?
It starts at 7.
I need to start getting there then.
I don't do the Funny Bone because they don't bring in half the crowd, and it's a different crowd too. It's if you know what I mean. If you get what I'm saying, like, it is. There's not, and I hate that. That's the one thing I hate about comedy, because I was raised in a black family, and that's that didn't make sense to me. When I got into comedy, I was like, why is it? I didn't think the colors really mattered when it came to this performing thing and all of that. Comedy's comedy, but I learned real quick, there's different crowds. There's different people that find different things funny. And it's just like going to the Helium's crowd and then Backdoor's crowd. 2 different crowds, it seems like, and you go to, for most apart. But it is kind of cool seeing, because I could tell that was true when I seen a bunch of guys that I know kill it, like killers. And they only get 1 or 2 laughs, barely. And they were like, oh, I got to change some shit up. But that being killers, they the next week they came, crushed it. They just had to adjust their stuff a little bit. So, but yeah, and they're all really cool. Like I went there my first time there. They took professional photography for me for free and
Do you know who
shit.
the photographer was?
No, I did give him a shout out on the Facebook, so I got it tagged on whatever.
I noticed that.
Yeah, he's really good.
And was his name A.G. Shaw?
Yeah.
A.G.'s a good dude. He was also part of STL Live. I think he's still involved with it, actually. But yeah, he's a great dude.
Yeah, there's like 200 of y'all on this. I seen the credits one day.
Yeah.
I watched it and I was like, I didn't know any of these people were in the STL Live.
Yeah, I bowed out for a handful of reasons. But I mean, one of them was also, I noticed I was trying, I'm not a sketch guy. You know, like I was really, because I wanted to work on storytelling. Because right now I kind of have two stories in all of my bits. You know, it's just, I do have the story of, okay, blind guy in a public bathroom because one night at Pops, I grabbed a drunk guy's hips while he was pissing, and it was a thing. And I was like, well, this is stage worthy. Mm-hmm. And one's a really old three-way story where I was doing drugs. And
yeah, that's one of my favorites that I've heard from St. Louis comedian yet. Like that shit had me fucking weak. And I didn't hear it for like, from knowing you for like the first 8 months. I never heard you say it at an open mic, and it was when you did. I think you featured at the Back Door, and you did it, and because you did like 2 different sets that night, I believe. Because I watched both of them. I was like, God damn, this guy's. And now that I find out you're 3 years in, fuck you.
Well, dude, I mean, I do have, like, I don't know. It is. I'm going to use it for what it is. Like, the blind thing is definitely kind of an advantage because there's only like 8 blind comics in the country, and no anything you bring up. I mean, I try not to talk about blind too much, but I have a perspective that nobody else has.
True, and you got to call out the obvious when you get up there. So yeah, a few blind jokes. I think it's just like somebody that's what was his name? Josh
Blue?
Josh Blue.
Yeah.
He doesn't lean into his handicap. I mean, I think one stand up he does like the
sure.
whole thing is, but he's still like.
Well, dude, he's over there shadow boxing a ghost the whole time he's on stage. He's got to say
you
something.
You got to recognize it.
Yeah.
And you do a very good job about that, like how you explain the rag thing in one joke. Like that's, that always. Yeah. I didn't know. I was like, why does this dude always got a rag? Has he got that big of a jerking off problem? Yeah, so much he went blind.
Yeah. Thank you.
It's like, man, and then you did that joke, and I was like, pah.
Dude, yeah, I had to do that. It shocks me. It took me a year and a half to come up with that masturbation joke. Dude, the first year, I was the worst. In my first year of comedy, I was garbage. And I mean, I'm not saying I'm good now. I can get I'm doing better. I think during quarantine is whenever I really learned how to write a joke, which like legit, like actually looking into what an actual joke is. Cause like I found out I was kind of doing punch tag, but I didn't know what I was doing. I was just kind of emulating my favorite comedians. But now that I know what the fuck, it's writing is getting a lot, and editing my old shit is getting way stronger. And it's just, right now, comedy, it's fun for me because I feel like it's like I'm snowballing. I'm like in the middle of a level up.
Okay, yeah. So you're like, what is it when a guy in the NBA gets hot? He's on fire. Mm-hmm. It's just
Oh yeah, NBA Jam.
Yeah.
Well, like, dude, it always fluctuates though, because like right now I feel like I'm leveling up, but let's say in 4 months, because I always feel like your standards change faster than your ability does. Yeah. So like in a couple months, I'm gonna probably feel like I'm bombing every single set, and it's just because I want more. And then slowly your talent starts to adjust to, hopefully, otherwise you should quit. But yeah.
How hard is it to go back to an open mic after doing something like that Greg Warren show?
Oh, dude.
After having that, and then it's got to be like quitting drugs.
Yeah, dude, it's a lot of fun. But dude, that weekend, another reason I didn't really the experience was great. But in the moment, I didn't enjoy it at all because for Greg, he's like, you need to be squeaky clean. Like, he saw me because he asked me weeks in advance to do it, which is nice because usually the Funny Bone asks you on Tuesday if you want to work that weekend. Yeah. So he asked me like 3 weeks in advance, but he asked me on Wednesday, and the night before, I was at Funny Bone and I was doing my family reunion bit, and I have a joke about, Catholics be fucking is essentially what I say. Yeah, Catholics are so fertile. If someone jizzes in a ceiling fan, the whole room's gonna get pregnant. It's kind of just a throwaway line. But Greg fucking Warren sends me a message like, "Hey, can you do a set without talking about coming in fans? Like, is that possible?" And I was like, "Yeah."
Yeah.
But like, I don't know. So I was
I
so
can
stressed.
come in a radiator, like, or something, anything with
I was so-
fast spinning motion.
I was so stressed about not saying the F word at any point that, like, I don't know. It was, and I only had maybe 10 minutes of clean material, so I had to do the exact same set every single night. And so, like, again, it was Greg Warren, so he's adding shows. I think there was like 8 shows that weekend. And so, honestly, yeah, by the time that weekend was over, I was like, I am tired of these jokes. I don't think I've done my family reunion joke, but maybe once since. Just because I got sick of saying we're like a Paralympics version of Game of Thrones.
Yeah, I can imagine that getting, like, yeah, because I get that. I'm tired of the jokes I got right now. I've been going through all my old notebooks, trying to write more. I switched the crews I've been working with, started building for a new builder at work. So I haven't really, so I did one guy that's a good buddy of mine. I usually would, like, me and him play a game at work. It was too far. And that's why a lot of my stuff is like, I like how Daniel Tosh says, I'm going to eventually just say something, and they're gonna and I'm gonna end up hanging it up. They're gonna be like, he really thought he could say that. Like,
even with his jokes that aren't like too over the top offensive, he has a special, because like I used to. This is whenever I should have known long ago I wanted to be a comedian, because I used to watch stand up on Comedy Central every night. But he had a special on there where I think he was talking about, first he was talking about it, picking up a woman in the bar, and he was talking about time change, and then he was talking about her being a pterodactyl. Then he was talking about going to Target. Then you go to Target for one thing, but then you see the frames. Who can say no to brushed silver? And in the audience, one guy laughed. And they kept it in the fucking special. I'm so happy they left it in, because he goes, ha, you see, one guy. I kept pushing and pushing until one guy was like, oh, fuck, that joke had everything.
yeah. Yeah, who was it that we had? I forget who it was that we just had. Oh, Quentin. Was it Quentin?
Oh.
One of these guys. One of them was like talking to me about that. It might have been Mike or Quentin. They were like, "Yeah, I love a joke that just keeps going and going. That doesn't make any sense, and see how long it can get them to just be like."
Yeah.
I think it was Mike, and that's one of my favorite things. I've tried to write a few of them, and they never land. Like, never. And it was some of my favorite jokes. Like I went to I had a Jeep, and I put if you read this, flip me over. If you can read this, flip me over. I took it in to get the oil change, and I came back and got it upside down. So I was driving down the highway, sparks flying everywhere, right? A lady looks over at me in confusion, and I say, "Don't worry, it's a Jeep thing." And keep driving.
Yeah.
People are like, "What the fuck is he talking about?" Like, exactly. Like, there is no point to this. Most of my jokes aren't real life.
Dude, same.
A lot of people are like, "Oh, jokes aren't good unless they're real life." Bullshit.
Yeah.
Watch a Mitch Hedberg, a Stephen Wright, or any one-liner. It's hard to do one-liners in real life shit to set a scene up with a one-liner.
Yeah. I usually go, I have like one nugget of truth, and then everything else is make believe.
Yeah.
It's just like, you kind of just think of like, okay, what are other weird things? Because like, so like with have you seen me do my maple syrup urine disease joke? Yeah. So that's, because of all the drugs and all that stuff and getting sick, I really did have liver disease, and I don't know if it's something that can go, but my dick definitely smelled like maple syrup for several years. I don't know if it does anymore. But
Like, I'm not that in touch with it anymore. I got a girlfriend.
So yeah, I don't know, but like, really, I mean, where'd you go?
Oh, I was just grabbing something real quick. You keep talking, I'm right here.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is the Simply Williford Etsy show, brought to you by Shelves.
Did you say Etsy?
Yep.
I do have an Etsy shop.
Oh, I know. I've listened to a little bit of your show.
Oh, that's what's up.
Yeah, I was thinking about buying some shelves from your competitor. I just need to find them.
Hey, man.
Hey, man.
Leave a good review on that competitor. Be like, everything's great. 2 stars.
Nope.
Great timing. Great product. Super cheap. 2 stars. What the fuck? That's the kind of shit you get. Like, we have compliments and like great reviews, and they'll be like 2 stars. It's like, you asshole. Like, what the fuck?
They were very polite. It's just, this is a shitty shelf.
My wife wanted it up for fucking the bathroom. I remodeled our bathroom. Like, we had a typical little towel thing hanger in there, and she went on Pinterest. Don't be a carpenter and have a girlfriend that likes Pinterest, because every day there's hey babe, can you build? And I made the mistake. I was like, babe, if it's made out of wood or nails, I can fucking build it. All right, being all cocky, and now it's
You're
like,
Jesus's dad.
thank you. Not many people say that unless they're pissed. Oh God. But that makes me think of the joke I said. History would be different if Maury Polkovich was alive when Jesus was born.
Oh, Maury Povich?
Yeah,
I gotcha.
Povich.
Yeah.
That's why I don't use the joke, because I can never pronounce his name. I'm so bad with names.
It's only 6 letters.
But it sounds like it should be 10.
Only whenever you said it and you added the K and the O.
And the L and...
It's like you just use words like letter casserole and you just throw letters in there. You're like, we'll see what happens.
Yeah.
Let's pull this one out of the oven. Oh, it's overdone.
Masterpiece. Dude, could you put a period somewhere? No, I'm more aerodynamic. I had somebody yell at me today about that on Facebook. They're like, look, Brad, you say a lot of I like conversate, but you got to put a period in there somewhere. I was like, no.
Dude, I hit you with that a couple weeks ago. Yeah. You commented on a joke I posted with something all serious, and I was like, motherfucker, there's not a single punchline or punctuation. I am furious.
I do talks to text, and they don't separate the shit like they should.
You got to say the word period. I use talk to text too.
But no, then anyone thinks I'm like jerking off to period porn or something.
Wait a minute. You think that's where people's mind goes immediately?
Yeah. Isn't that what your school taught you?
Why would it?
All right, we've got period blood out of the way on this one.
Yep.
We've got a couple more on the list we need to knock. No. So you've been at it for 3.5 years.
Oh, yeah. Origin story. Back at it.
We're going to get back into it. But that's one thing I wanted to know is how long, like you said, you finally figured out how to write a joke, which is great, because I think that there's a lot of comedians that you can tell are already good that don't know that yet. They don't know that they're writing jokes, or because you can hear them be around people talking and everything, and that when they're just being cool and just hanging out, no pressure on them, really funny.
Yeah.
And they just don't know how to translate that into a joke yet, because they don't know structure. I know the structures that I use, but not everybody knows. Like, a lot of people don't think of the fact that there's different kinds of jokes. Every joke lands in a category, like misdirection. That's a play on words or puns and observation and just calling out the stupid. You just scared the shit out of me. Absolutely. Oh, you're fine.
You were crawling?
Yeah, she scared you. Because I didn't even see her. She just crawled around and then popped up. I was like, what the fuck is that?
Oh, I love that girl. But okay, I think like as just listen, I know some people don't like getting, the structured tips. So it works for some. Like for me, having someone directly say this is what a joke is really helped me. But some people, it's not for everybody. Everybody learns different. But I do think there are certain things in terms of like you need to be aware of crowd psychology, like how they're perceiving you. Because like for me, one benefit I have as a blind guy is I know that every single time I walk on stage, there's tension, because I'm walking up with my hand on a different person's shoulder, and it's different than everyone else that's going to go on stage that night. So it's not bad. They're not like, what the fuck is this guy? But it's different. And so there's a little bit, and so it's kind of a cheat code because breaking that tension, easy as fuck. And then once they get that first laugh, they're in. So, so, but then I also know, like, I have jokes making fun of my appearance and like all these tattoos and stuff because I kind of look like a douche, bro. I get it. Like that's why I used to do my Hitler Youth haircut joke, and now I have tattoo jokes about how these some people think they're dumb, but they've actually saved me a lot of money on tap out shirts. Just know, be aware of what the audience is probably thinking, and just say one zinger about it, and then you're off to the races. But then also like knowing laugh triggers. All the things you're saying, like double entendre, puns, misdirects, rhyming schemes work, just, tags. Know the parts of a joke. And how you put them together is up to you. It's the same as music, It's like, you can be like, hey, okay, we're playing in G major, which that means you have 7 notes to play with in G major. You only get 7 notes, but how you put them together with the melody and the chord progression and all that shit, that's still up to you. And, we've had music for thousands of years and people are still coming up with new shit. Yeah. It's just, you have to, I think it's beneficial to know the things.
The basics. Yeah, like I completely agree because I can definitely tell. I've always thought I knew comedy. Like I thought I knew everything about it because I grew up. My dad collects DVDs, VHSs actually back when it first was a thing, and thousands. He's probably 3,000-4,000 DVDs. Like every Tuesday, we knew he went and bought the 2 new DVDs that were released because new movie Tuesday. They released all the new DVDs from the movie theaters onto DVD that day on Tuesdays. So he had all of the Def Comedy jams, and that was just like something like when people would come over and to visit my parents and smoke a joint or something, because my parents are old hippies too, so we all congregate together and smoke pot and talk about the good old days, then eat too much food. But yeah, I always was watching the Def Comedy Jam and stuff like that. Like I've had a lot of people when they ask me my favorite comic, I'm like, I think Jamie Foxx was probably one of the biggest ones that I've really seen what a true comedian.
He was hilarious in Ray.
Yeah. No. Well, yes, he did a great job at it.
He actually, his voice is pretty spot on.
He's like, what is that called? A triple threat. He can fucking act, he can sing, and he can do jokes. But he started.
I thought it was domestic violence.
Domestic violence.
Shit.
Has he beat anybody
I
yet?
don't know. I was just hoping. I was looking for the threat.
He's a 4th threat then. That doesn't sound as good, but But yeah, and like he started with comedy. He was a comedian in the very beginning, and he had 3 specials. I remember I even bought the box set after when I first moved out of my parents' house. I was like, went and bought stand up, and so I knew what comedy was, and then I got into it, and I was like, oh shit, like there is an actual something there that you should learn and know. And I the people that talk down on that, I've never heard someone say that talk shit about knowing the basics of comedy that were any good. The people that are like, oh, I just fuck it. I don't need to know none of that. No, you need to be able to recognize a joke. Like just in life, you should be recognized.
Sure. But like, I mean, I also think that going up there, because like, okay, for me, I'm just now starting to get to the point where like I have some confidence in my jokes. So what I'm trying to do now, just to expand a little bit, is anytime I go on stage, if it's maybe not at a mic because it's only 4 or 5 minutes and I usually have shit I'm trying to work on, but like if I have a show, I'm going to do at least 30 seconds to 2 minutes of just shit that's happened in the room. Like on Thursday in Perryville, my big zinger was pointing out the fact that Vincent Opper went on stage, and he has one of his like signature bits is about having erectile dysfunction, and Cody Bayer has this new bit where it's just it's really good. I like Cody Bayer.
I do too. I've been trying to get him to come on, and we just haven't been able to find a date.
I don't mean to give up his joke, but basically, I'm going to do it anyway. He says, we're going to play a drinking game. Anytime I get an erection, take a drink. But then he just calls back to it throughout the set. You know what I mean? So he can just, like 4 minutes later, he can just be like, hey, take a drink. You know, it's really smart. It worked. But then, so I just called out the fact that Vincent Hopper, 53, has a broken penis, and then Cody Bear comes up 2 comedians later, just all willy-nilly with all his erections. You know what I mean? Just say something about the show, because of these eyeballs, I can't. I've done crowd work, and it usually does okay, but it's like they have to engage first. I can't look at somebody and be like, "Hey, you look weird." You know? It's because I don't even know if I'm pointing at anybody. You know, I don't know exactly where they are. So. I don't know. I'm trying to get just more present, because again, with the no eyeball thing, it's like I have to memorize every single joke. And so I have a bad tendency of just being scripted, like too scripted on stage. So I'm trying to now be like, okay.
Yeah, that was one of my first questions, was to be like, how do you do so much time without your notebook? And I was like, oh yeah.
Dude,
I'm kidding.
It sucks, man. It sucks.
But it does make me think about that. Like, cause I always, not always, I've done plenty of sets that I don't, but usually open mics, like you said, working on something. Mm-hmm. So I'm trying to figure out the best organization for my jokes and where these new ones are going to fit in.
Yeah. If I was doing what you were doing, I'd be fucked, right?
That's a lot.
Just have to go up and be like, okay, I got 24 new jokes tonight, everybody. But no, it's like, usually it's like, okay, the new bit that I'm gonna be working on, I keep chickening out on it because it's not really my style, but it's a joke about complaining to my girlfriend, and she's saying, hey, saying my back hurts, and she says, you want me to walk on it? And so then it's like every joke, it's going to be probably 2.5 to 3 minutes, but every joke is just poo-pooing her walking on my back. You know what I mean? So it's like, at least I know what I'm talking about. So hopefully I can keep it together. But,
okay, so like just keep it, having one talking point and then going out there and riffing the rest. Kinda.
Oh, I'm not riffing it. Like I definitely, I wrote, and like also because like my memory does suck now, probably because of the drugs, but yeah, so I type it out several times leading up to the first time I do it. And then once I have it recorded, though, then it's way easier to just watch a recording and remember that.
Yeah, I do that too. I have a dictaphone. That's how I started off, instead of, because at work, it's just a little recorder that you push a button real quick and it starts recording. You let go of the button and it stops recording, and it saves the recording. And since I work construction, it's hard to pull out a notebook every idea I get, or so I'm able to just pull that out my tool belt, blah blah blah, and throw it back into my pouch, and then write it down later on. But the recording, I'm a firm believer in, you should record your sets. Like, I see so many guys that I think are really good that should be recording their sets more. And I think it would take them to that next, just the things that's killing their sets they'll be able to recognize. Because I've learned it, anytime I don't record my set, I realize that I think I do so much better. It's not until I watched what I recorded to where I'm like, oh, I only had like a couple real laughs in there. It was like, that was no. What was it? Last week, Monday, I bombed hard. Like, what did I say? I was like, I know, that was like Nashville Christmas morning status bomb. And then Bukovich went up there and was like, man, I really wasn't expecting Brad to bomb that hard. Now I'm bombing. It's like, oh, don't blame that on me. I'll be your scapegoat, but fuck you. But it was bad. But the difference between me is, like, I did get some laughs, and if I didn't record it, although that was a bad bomb, but if I use my normal jokes and it still bombs because I try something else, to do it a different way, put more emotion into it a certain way, and I still bomb, it's no, I won't know unless I record it, because I'll still get my main laughs from my main jokes that I throw in there that are like, I gotta make something funny. I don't want to be that big of a piece of shit. Like, people came here to see some comedy.
Yeah.
But that, and just the people, the way they react on stage. I feel some storytellers, they should, the people that just come up there and stand and try to like regurgitate a story that they think is funny. No, well, you moving your hands, you've got emotion, like when you confusion, you have you do the
Dude,
emotion
that's
in
why
your
I
body,
cut my
like
hair.
your body language.
That's why I cut my hair, is just because, like, one, I figure having this weird eye of mine out in the open for people to just be like, oh, look, he is blind. That helps. But then also I was like, with all the hair I used to have, I didn't have a forehead. You know what I mean? And I had heard somewhere about whenever you say something that's a little bit extra shocky, just raise your eyebrows.
Yeah,
You know what I
that's,
mean?
I think George Carlin
Yes,
style
that was
move,
it.
yeah.
Raise your eyebrows, so it kind of, instead of just saying this mean statement, it kind of seems like you're questioning it a little bit.
Yeah, so they know when to laugh. And that also tells people when to laugh, too. It gives them, they're like, oh, that's the punchline sometimes. Because you have a good, intelligent joke, and sometimes people, they're still trying to figure the whole thing out. Because you've written it. You created the joke. Especially as storytelling, like everyone loves a great story. And if you can really get them in that story, it takes a minute for them to process all that information. So, like, I see a lot of guys ruin their laughs with a great joke, but it doesn't get a laugh immediately. Instead of letting it just sink in for a second, they go jump right into a new one. So it kills that laugh because no one wants to interrupt you and they want to hear the rest of the story and everything. It's like, take a little time and let you try. Timing I think is the most important thing for some reason in comedy. I don't know why I've said it since I was a kid. I was like, timing is where it's at, because you can make a mediocre joke pretty decent, or a bad joke mediocre, or you can make a great joke just fucking amazing, or timeless. Like, it's always going to be funny no matter what year it is.
I concur. But I think, I mean, that's one thing. The only thing that I had whenever I first started was kind of timing, because like everything else about my sets in that first year, dude, all I was doing in the first year, like my first 6 months of doing comedy, I wouldn't even go to a club because I didn't want a club to see what I was doing. You know what I mean? It was pretty bad. I think I was 8 or 9 months into comedy before I ever went to the Funny Bone, and it was too filthy. I didn't know what a joke was, but I was doing all these bar shows, and I was like, well, if I say cunt, it seems to get a reaction. So I'm going to go in hard on the one word I know works.
Yeah.
And then I did a comedy competition, and a buddy of mine who's a comedian from San Antonio came up, and he was like, dude, you're a straight white comedian. You get one bitch per set. Say bitch once. And I was like, all right, cool. Cool. I guess that makes sense.
Yeah. Yeah. What's the best piece of advice you've gotten from somebody? Like somebody, maybe you've dealt with some bigger names too. You've performed for a couple of road dogs, and Greg Warren. I mean,
Yeah.
Greg Warren, he wouldn't even respond to me for the show. He read it. It says that he read it.
Well, a couple months ago, I'm a pretty massive Greg Warren fanboy. So honestly, I got really nervous the entire weekend I worked with him, so I didn't talk to him much. But fuck. Like he gave me his phone number a couple weeks ago, and I'm like, thanks, Greg, but I'll never use it. You know what I mean? What am I gonna? Hey, Greg, I want to run this bit by you. I'm not. I mean, like I want to real bad, but I'm not gonna do it. But okay, so I don't know. I've gotten like very case specific tips. Like, okay, the weekend of Greg Warren, they added a 5:00 Saturday show because again, he was selling out the whole weekend, but that show, I'm sitting there and I'm getting ready for the show, and it's just, I can't even tell. It was probably over 80% of the room was just white-haired old people. There were dozens of walkers walking into the room, and I was freaking out. I was like, how am I going to relate to these people? And Greg was like, bro, you're going blind. He's like, you think if anyone understands disabilities, it's this crowd. And I was like, okay, cool. But
Wow, See, he already know. He's seen it before.
Oh yeah,
He recognized it before you did.
yeah,
And you
100,
reported it all together.
100%.
That
But
shows you how the perfect. I love that about those guys that are like been doing it years like that. They can just be like, look at it. They can point out the obvious and the actual part because they know what a joke is. Going back to that.
yeah.
But yeah, continue.
Well, dude, okay, like in terms of, I don't know if I've gotten too much like straight up tips on what to do. I'm kind of mostly I'm just like I learned how to write a joke and now I'm trying to apply like all my years of playing music all over the place to try to expand like where my comedy circle is. And so I'm just kind of doing shit I've always done, but if anything, just learn how to write a joke. That's and actually write. Don't just okay. Again, it's different for everybody. Yada yada yada. But sit down in front of a laptop, in front of a notebook, whatever, and make yourself write. And if you don't have anything to write that day, write an old bit and just look at the words and go through each line and see if you can expand. Because like generally, if you're doing a premise, any one of your punchlines can be turned into a new subcategory of a premise. And so then you take, what might originally be a 3-minute bit, but then you do a 2-minute tangent inside of it, just keep it going. You can always keep it's just, you're playing volleyball with yourself.
Yeah,
You're just
that's
keeping
a
it
good
in
way
the
to
air.
put it. Yeah, just how long would you hit that joke before you feel it's the dead horse, before you feel like you're just beaten up? How long do you, or
Like,
there's some greats
before.
that can do it they can probably do a whole fucking special off of one
Oh
subject.
yeah, for sure, dude. Again, I start looking into British comedians.
Oh yeah,
That's
Jimmy Carr, Milton. I know a
well,
lot.
not
One-liners is
yeah,
I've seen, but the other guys,
yeah. Jimmy Carr is a way different story.
I
I
love his
think
crowd work.
he's my favorite joke guy.
Yeah.
Just because he's dark, but he also he cleans up nice, so you don't really expect him to be like pedophile all the time.
And he can kill a crowd. He's really great with his crowd work, which fucking like it showed me that a one-liner can do crowd work. That's what he's the one that showed me. I was like, okay, you got to start interacting with the crowd more. Like Stephen Wright didn't. Hedberg really wasn't. I've seen videos of Hedberg people trying to heckle or something, and it shut him down quick. He didn't do well with that too much. But he had those jokes to where it was like you get laughs, killer laughs, or he didn't get many at all. But yeah, learning a joke. How did you learn to? What did you read? When did it click? What made it click?
So, let's see. I also I tend to have to hear advice several times before it really sinks in. Okay, here's a good piece of advice that I got. Whenever I was early on, one of the first clubs I started going to regularly was Improv Shop, right? And Bobby's such a sweet dude, and I was in one of those situations where it's like I said, where my standards were raising, and I was just so sick of being filthy that I was like, I just wasn't having a good time. And Bobby's advice, he was very direct. He was just like, if you're not having fun, stop doing it or find a way to have fun, right? And it didn't sink in. That was the first time I heard it, but it didn't sink in. There was another time I was doing a show. It was in the middle of Illinois, and there was this English dude on stage. He goes by Sam Rhodes, but his real name's Sam Dunthorne. Don't know why he did that. But he's a really funny dude. But we were talking before the show, and he said essentially the exact same thing, just in different words. He was like, remember that you're booked to be funny, sure. You're booked as entertainment, but you're also booked as the fun guy. Like, even if you go up and you're, complaining about shit, there's still a fun way to do it. There's still a way to be angry, but be like benevolent and silly about being angry. He's like, you always focus on the fun part of what you're doing, which, again, with me always being in my head so much that, yeah, I still forget that I'm supposed to be having a good time. Because, like, you're a ringleader of sorts whenever you're on stage. They're going to share, like, okay, I always say the crowd is simultaneously smarter than you think they are and dumber than you think they are. So like with my jokes, I do sometimes treat people like they're idiots and over explain, but usually the over explanation in itself gets a joke or gets a laugh. But like they're more intelligent whenever it comes to your energy. If you go up and you're nervous, even if you're not shaking, you're way too much in your head, they feel that more than they hear your jokes. So you have to be, part of it's just, even if you had a shitty day that day, or it has been a long weekend, or you're doing a late show and the early show didn't go that well, part of the job is getting your head right because even if you had a shitty early show, that late show didn't pay for your resentment. You know what I mean? They paid for a show. And so you still have to just be like, well, that's gone. Wash that away. I got another 15 minutes to do. You know, you got to train yourself to just be ready to go on.
Yeah, no, that I like the way. Yeah, that's a good, very good point. I didn't realize that until I did hosted for Rich Braun and Mel Alexander at the back door one weekend, and my first show fucked up his intro. Like it was dark, and he's like trying to say stuff to me, and somebody else is up. I think Rich Braun was up, and I'm like, hey. And I've been waiting on him to come in the whole time, and he didn't come in through the first show until Rich Braun was halfway through his set, and he came in, and I was like, hey, what do you want? How do you want to be introduced? And he's like, band 13 stations, and I was like, band 13, what is that, like a group? I didn't, that's all he said back, band 13 station. I was like, what the fuck is band? Like band, not band from 13 stations. Yeah. So yeah, I fucked his whole intro up, but he called it out, called me a dumbass, and it was just bad. And just before then, I as a host, I don't feel I need to come out a host, especially of a show with, it was only 2 comics that were performing, well, 3, me and Rich and Mo, but like a host, like did the red flag, there's like 7 people. And Ronaldo did a great job. He came up, he talked about specials, other shows coming on, and said 1 or 2 funny things about current events and stuff. Then brought the first comedian on, got the crowd, ready for comedy, and then brought the comedian on. And if the comedian bombed and the energy was like fucking dead, he'd come on and tell a joke, recognize the bombing, and get the crowd back to neutral, and then bring the next comedian on. And that's what I think the host's job is to give each comedian a fair shake at the stage. Dude,
honestly, Ronaldo's so good at hosting, I hope he never moves up. I hope he just stays a host.
The Mexican.
Oh, yeah, sorry. Yeah, that little Italian kid. I don't know.
He's a fun kid. He's a fun guy. I don't want to call him a kid. He's grown, but
if you talk to him for a couple minutes, you're like, you're not grown.
No, not yet. But he's got a better head on his shoulders than I did at 22. I wish I would have started when these guys had started.
Dude,
like, that's
same.
One big regret I have when I see like people like Elijah, kids like Elijah. I'm like, dude, just keep doing it, man. You'll get there. And like those kids, I remember we had the first time I hosted, which was my best time. I killed it my first time.
Was that the time you had to leave because you had a issue with your dog?
No. Yes, that was the best time. Yes. I wasn't getting that, but I see that was
the time you just disappeared.
Yeah, no, I get a call and my dog has seizures, so she's like, my wife's crying and saying it's a bad one, so I was like, oh shit. Which made me think halfway there, I was like, I'm an hour away from home. No matter what kind of seizure he's had. But but these 3 new high schoolers had just got out of school, I believe.
Oh, dude, I remember.
And they're funny. They were funny. Like one of the kids was talking about, he's like, could you imagine being like next to that building when 9/11 happened? And he talked about jerking off, and he acted like he was jerking off, and he's like, he acts like he licks his finger and turns the page on a porno. He's like, who the fuck does that? If it doesn't connect to the internet, fuck it. I think he said, I was like, I made sure to talk to each and every one of them after the show. I was like, you guys just keep doing it because you guys are killing it. If this is where you're starting, and if you've already got comedy figured out that well, And, unless you went on Fiverr and paid some guy to write just a 5-minute set for you.
I think, well, you can do that?
Yes, you can make money on Fiverr writing people's sets. Or buy it 5 minutes worth of material.
Send me the link. I'll write some jokes. Dude, that's my...
I know. You send me jokes that I'd be working on forever. And you'll listen to this and be like, hey, that joke that you've been struggling with, knocked it out 10 minutes after you heard it. I was like, thanks. This is great, by the way. It actually hurts my pride that much more.
Dude, it's just... Okay, so in November, Tommy Mosslander, like he's high risk, so he's been quarantining really hard, unfortunately. But we were just, he's missing comedy, so he and I had a joke writing contest one week, I think like the week before Thanksgiving, and we both knocked out it was a huge amount of jokes, but we counted if he wrote a joke and I tagged it, like we counted that as each joke, or we would just put up headlines and write jokes about them. And then he and I, he made a TikTok because he's 22 and it's socially acceptable for him to have a TikTok. And we just wrote monologue jokes for about a month, just 2 or 3 stories every single day. And dude, it was like we were writing, I personally was probably writing over 50 jokes a day.
Holy shit.
Dude, not all of them, of course, maybe 12 of them were keepers, like my hit. But as we kept going though, my hit ratio went way up. And that's another reason why I say just make yourself sit there and write. Because like whenever you have a premise, usually your first 3 to 7 jokes are the really obvious dog shit jokes. But then whenever you start really mining that bit and getting like, okay, where can I go with this? And you're more, like your brain is just locked into that state, that writing state. Yeah. You'll come up with the good shit. But I forgot why I started saying this. Oh, so whenever we're doing like headline type things, whatever the headline is, like woman steals cake from woman arrested for stealing cake from grocery store, right? If that's the story, you have 4 different things you can start to interconnect to make a joke. You have a woman, you have arrested, you have cake, you have grocery store. You know what I mean? And so you just start making associations, and you take 2 incongruent things and mush them together. And that's just a simple way to make a bit. So like, what was the joke you said was, it was broken condom and flag in a war-torn country, right? Yeah. So then my brain goes to, well, warfare, and you have a penis, right? So you shoot cum, right? you just, you know what I mean? Shots fired, man down. You can do all these, you just make dick-related war statements until you find the ones that stick, no pun intended. Okay.
And then, no, I think that helps what you're talking about doing, which I've never gotten written with anybody. I've never had nobody's ever been like, hey, you want to write? It's like, I have Alex Blodgett. He'll hit me up and he'll ask me. He has no issue asking about a joke.
like to the point where it's kind of annoying.
It's
Alex.
like, it took me longer to fucking read this than it's going to take you longer to just say this. Record it. Hit the record button, all right?
Dude, earlier today, this afternoon, he sent me
5 fucking pages.
Yeah. and I mean, but, we riffed back and forth because I was like, this is, it's brand new. He's never done. I'm not going to say it, but it's like, it was a good premise. And I was like, but here, take it here next. You know what I mean? Just to... Because, dude, I'm the same. If someone kind of just gives me a nudge in a direction, you're like, okay, it's just the angle. You know what I mean? It's just a different angle, and now it's a premise within a premise.
Yeah, I get a lot. I'll do that. I get those that from because I used not to think this, but pretty much every joke that you're gonna tell has been told. The originality of the joke. Somebody can be like, oh, I had something similar to that. Yeah. Very similar. Just maybe the topic. I'm not talking about anything like joke stealing. But somebody, especially me, because I think mostly storytellers. There's not many one-liners there's not enough of them out there to like be able to follow and watch a new one all the time. But storytellers, they are. So that's great for mine because I can see they can do something that the same topic of whatever it is. Necrophilia joke or an abortion joke or something like that. And it can show me a different angle that they went, and it's like it will open up all new play on words, which can just be a tag towards it, and stuff like that. Like that's how I did that perks of a mortician joke. I have so many tags for that. I can just keep going another perk, and another perk. Because one night I just sat down and was like, "What's great about not having a wife?" Like,
Have you tried for that one? Because like another thing to compare and contrast is, you ever just twist it? So like you're mainly saying the perks, right? Do you ever? Because I can't remember it verbatim. Do you ever say the downside?
yeah, I have a list of cons too, but I just never. Was usually my last joke that I would tell because I would get such a, especially lately, not lately, but back when I would do mostly bar mics, is like I'll use that one because like you said, it's dark, it's dirty, it's just a misdirection joke really, but it's pretty simple. Most of my stuff is, and I would always say that, so I would do what I had, and I had so many tags for it. I would use that as my last one. So if I only had a few minutes, I would cut it, and usually I only have, I'm not a few minutes, a few seconds. I'll just cut it to there. But yeah, I had a few cons like, I can't even remember. I have it all written down in one of these fucking 20 notebooks I've got over here. Me and Mike were talking about that one night, or Nate. And he was like, "Yeah, I got a bunch of notebooks." I was like, "Oh, yeah?" This whole bar was just covered in notebooks. I was like, "You should be writing this much." And I've actually got a lot more writing than I do have done, even tried to do, because I started writing actual jokes when John Maddie started. And that was years ago. And I didn't take it up seriously until like 3 years ago. And I didn't start performing until, just over a year ago. In January was my, I performed the first week of January. And I was like, that's an easy one to remember because I'm bad with dates too. I can't even tell you the date I got married.
Not good.
Or her birthday. Been with her for and I always say 7 years. It might be longer now. I've been saying 7 years since we've been together. After year one, I was like, yeah, we've been together for like 7 years.
I have a John Maddie story, and it's kind of traumatizing for me. So like I said, I was doing bar shows in Illinois for a while right out of the gate. And one time a dude was like, "Hey, do you want a headline?" And it was just a podunk bar. So I was like, fine. I had no right doing 30 minutes. No right. I probably shouldn't have even been doing 7 minutes, if I'm being honest. But I was like, sure, I want to feel what 30 minutes feels like. And so I go. And then I get there, and they say that the two dudes they're each doing 20 minutes right before me is Brian McDowell and John Maddie. And I felt so guilty because I was like, John Maddie's so funny. And
How many years ago was this?
at least 2, maybe 2.5.
So like your first year.
Yeah.
Okay.
And dude, John buried me. So it was, again, it was a shitty bar mic. Hardly anybody was there for the comedy show. They were all just drinking at the bar. But the people that were listening, John murdered, because he's fucking funny. I just went up there and I had no way to captivate people. So I'm just like, cunt. Hey, anybody gonna,
Am I getting any reaction?
yeah, any reaction from this word? Anybody?
I can't see you, but if you give me a gasp.
That'd be great. Could you just clink your drinks? Cool, thanks. Still here.
Which that probably does tie you. That's something that I don't. A lot of people get. I feel because I did when I first started was tunnel vision. Like when you get up there, you kind of everything gets.
Oh, I get that.
Yeah. And not just with vision, like the whole thing. Like it's just like you zone out and you're just trying to remember your and not listening and reacting and me seeing the reaction because I have that ability. And so does a lot of, like you said, there's only other nine blind fucking comics out there. That's a big deal to try to find out if you're killing it or if they're paying attention. Like I have to look at their face. I know when I'm killing it when I can see face full of laughter because I kind of tune everything else out. And I don't really hear the laughter too often. Like I can, but I tune a lot of stuff out, and I get that tunnel hearing, I guess you can call it. Like everything gets a little blurry.
I think it's canal hearing.
It's probably just that high. I'm like, oh, there it is. You should go fucking do some drugs. Do some drugs after this. But no, that's so you having to listening to the crowd is a whole nother thing.
Oh, for sure. I mean, it's all I got. So that's another reason why, like, I mean, I swing and miss a lot still, but that's why I want every single laugh point to be a laugh out loud laugh point. Otherwise, I'm bombing.
Yeah. No, I remember once at the back door. This goes to when you were talking about earlier about what is it, 30 seconds to 2 minutes of crowd work. COVID I think it was one of the last open mics at the back door, and somebody had dropped a cup or something, a glass, and you were like, man, they're dropping like COVID's making them drop like flies.
Yeah.
It was so you timed that shit like it was perfect. I was like, god damn.
Yeah. It's also it's a fun one now also to if anyone coughs during the set, to just stop and be like, sir, you can't be doing that. All right, we're gonna have to ask you to just stop, just everything, just stop in its tracks and just be like, yeah, we're addressing this, sir. God forbid you sneeze, I will scream at you.
Yeah, they don't fuck around with that nowadays, people, and it's bad being somebody like I've always the type before I walk right in to do some shopping or something is I take a big rip off of the bowl. I'm like, I'm gonna have to go be around people. I don't like people.
You're talking about soup, or
yeah, a big bowl of soup. And I'm also a fucking stoner, and people expect to smell pot when I'm around. They're like, I should smell some kind of weed. That's one it's my cologne, Cannabis for Men 2021. But it's I forgot where I was going with that.
Dude, okay. Yeah. You were talking about sketch ideas earlier.
Yeah.
I'm going to derail you hard. So, just because you said cannabis for men. Dude, that should be... Have you ever... I wanted to do a sketch not a sketch, a stand-up routine about how stupid cologne commercials are. And I had one for a while. It was making fun of Sauvage by Dior.
Dude,
right?
I just was watching the actual TV the other night. And my wife watches regular TV. I hardly ever do. And I see all these horrible commercials are horrible. But the cologne and perfume commercials are ridiculous.
Dude,
like
there was one with Natalie Portman where she was at a wedding. She was the bride. And then she ran out. Like she's a runaway bride, but it was like a destination wedding, which means she's really a jerk because these people flew to like Italy or whatever, and she's still leaving. But then she's running through a field, and people are chasing her, and then there's a helicopter that's got a rope ladder hanging down, but the rope ladder was off the edge of the cliff. You know what I mean? And so she has to jump off a cliff in a wedding dress and like she's leaving the man at the altar for a dude who isn't even willing to park the helicopter above the ground. You know what I mean? He could have scooped her up without the threat of death. If she would have fallen on the ground, she'd scrape her knee.
you're in a helicopter.
Exactly.
Bro.
Just move over 4 feet. She's leaving a man for that guy.
But if he can afford a helicopter, let's be real.
Yeah, I guess you're right. But cannabis for men, your commercial would just be like you staring at your hand, or just like eating cereal, but with chocolate milk, and you're dipping maple syrup on it. You're like, yeah, what's up?
That's a good one.
You're dipping a corn dog and whipped cream. This is probably good.
Well, that's me and Mike. We've been putting together sketches. Like we have the other night he came over. I actually recorded it. We recorded kind of the podcast of him putting. I was like, I want to see how you do it. I've never done it. And you did the STL Live. What is that whole STL Live thing? What is it? Just a group of comedians that like produce content?
So there are some comedians in the group who do stand up. Mary Jane was a part. I'm not sure who's still a part of it.
I think Mary's on the podcast.
Yeah, Sean T was on it, Ron Finger. Whenever we were in it, it was Monica, myself, Mike, Ron Finger, Sean T and Mary Jane. I think we're the only people who are regularly doing stand up. There were in it, and then there were a lot of improv people, but yeah, it's just sketches. The dude who runs it, Matt Schmidt, really good dude. His wife, his cousin Chris, and his wife Katie Shemaine is Matt's wife's name. Figured I should say it, but no, they're good people.
Yeah.
And the cool thing about working with
I just wanted to know what it is. Is it like what do you like? What, do y'all all get together, or does somebody get a sketch idea and like, hey, I need this many people for it?
Yeah. Essentially, yeah. That's.
Okay.
I mean, like I said, I bowed out just because there was.
Probably got political.
It's not.
Not like actual politics, but political.
Yeah, some things happened that I didn't agree with, but it also was kind of me trying to write that. I didn't like where I was putting my head, like my headspace. I need to write stand up, and I felt like I was lacking. Like my stand up was suffering because I kept trying, and I sucked at writing sketches. So it's like the thing I love doing, I'm getting worse at, and I'm still bad at sketches. Okay. So fuck it.
Yeah.
But no, I mean, Matt Schmidt, if he has an idea, he'll churn it out. That's the benefit of working with STL Live. Like, I had one sketch that I liked. It was called Happy Ending, and it was about, this was a stand-up bit that I could never get to work, but I actually need to try it now because I rewrote it. But it's about Reiki massage, about, the people who just wave their hands over you. And that's how, yeah. So, but I just came up with a new line for it where it's like, they wave their hands over you and they use their life energy to drain your wallet. And that's the start of the bit now. And I'm like, oh, well, now it's a bit. Because before I had to explain what Reiki was for like a minute without a laugh. And I was like, I can't do that. That's bananas. So, but I mean, I liked that one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's a good one. So you've been working on that one now? Is that something you're doing regularly?
In stand-up?
Yeah.
Haven't done it once.
No?
I did it. Whenever quarantine first started, like in March, I think in May or June, I went to Elijah's parents' house to do a show on their porch. And at that show, I was just like, I'm throwing out all the weird shit I've ever written. I was like, fuck it, I'm going to talk about mattresses, and I'm going to talk about Reiki. Let's go. And I think, I have one new bit about other disabled people. It's the first time I did it was down there, and it kind of worked. So that one was a keeper.
Yeah. I just started kind of writing sketches, and I don't really. I'm not a super like diving deep into it. I have no problem. I just feel it's like a good form of exercising for comedy. But now that I actually have an idea and something written up, I'm like, oh, now I want to do it. I'm more worried about the producing the content now, because I know I have the idea. I have it broken down to like each scene. And it's just the sketches, the Wall Street Bet Reddit shit that's going on. Mm-hmm. It's basically these guys. It's a scene of these guys that created Reddit talking about taking down these hedge funds because they're such pieces of shit, and they need to raise minimum wage and healthcare, and how the corporate millionaire billionaire class, blah blah blah. Well, then the next night, then they get rich. All of a sudden, and then there's another scene is that, dude, have you seen what's going on? Have you checked your account on Robinhood? And it goes there, and he's now the elite. They've made so much money. And then he goes to the old fucking Reddit fucking forum, and it's all these people like, hey, man, what the hell? What's going on? Like, and they're like, we lost a bunch of money, and you guys made a bunch. You didn't tell us, And they go, he's like, look. I can't give you guys handouts, and the minimum wage, really, do you know what it would do to the economy and small businesses? I can't. You guys need to pull yourselves up from your bootstraps. Maybe not get so much Starbucks, okay? But we'll give you this one last piece, all right? We're going to hand this one last thing out. We got another idea, all right? That's how it ends with... We want you to, let's short GameStop instead of doing a short squeeze. And they're all looking at him like, there's nothing left to short. It's fucking bankrupt.
They changed the name of Reddit to Credit. What's up, guys?
So that's one the sketch, and then the other one I told you about the blind guy, which that was just a joke. I've tried to pretty much do a couple times, and it hasn't landed. Talk about my blind friend that has to wear reading glasses when he listens to audiobooks. I just haven't made that one land yet. And I was like, but it would be a funny sketch, a short, quick like sketch on the YouTube short shelf, whatever that thing's called. It just plays little under a minute long videos that you upload. Like I've got the ones that I do, the comedy tips by comedians or whatever. You put the hashtag shorts, and I think I've got like fucking one like hour on one video that got placed. Like the YouTube algorithm picked up, it was like 3,000 views. It was, and like all kinds of likes and a couple comments. They said it's one of the comments says the dude that's talking is cringe as fuck, which was they were talking about Quentin. I didn't respond because I don't care what the comment is. I'm not gonna be that guy, not yet. I think I'll hire Mike Ratcliffe to do all my trolling for me.
Nice.
Because he sounds like he is a pro fucking troll.
Dude, either hire him or Ron Finger.
Yeah.
Ron Finger he's on everybody's threads about everything ever.
Yeah, he's intelligent. That's some guy. I'm not good at. I get too deep into shit. Like I'll try to post something and try to actually make a point and forget about the comedy end of it. Sometimes it's like, whatever. If I can remind myself to, and then I still try to be too smart with it instead of hitting the dumb shit, because then I feel hacky. That's how all my jokes are, hacky jokes. So I don't really care.
Dumb shit. Always hit. That's another like. This is just one. It's not a tip that anybody gave me, but I found that okay. So I opened for Danny Browning at Backdoor, and he was one of the best headliners I ever worked with, right? Nobody knows who he is, but he's done some shit. He's been a headliner for like 20 years or something, right?
Danny Browning? Does he have
Browning.
a recording out?
I know that before the weekend, I know he had a 5-minute clip reel that he put on YouTube. I don't know if he has any specials, but so I think that was actually my first weekend at Backdoor where like Tobin, bless his heart, he gave like Ronaldo hosted, but he had an extended set and I had a slightly shorter feature set because Tobin wanted to see if we could both do it, which was very kind. And because honestly I was terrified of featuring. But fuck. Oh yeah, so like both Ronaldo and I did roughly 15, but Danny, all 3 shows he did completely. I mean, he had his staple bits, but he did completely different hours and completely different orders every single time. He was super cool, and he's the dude who brought up Jerry Corley to me.
Okay, yeah, I'm a joke doctor.
Yeah, like Jerry Corley does the list method, which I don't write out lists, but I used to, and now I've gotten to the point where my brain's kind of trained to just do an association list as soon as I hear a bit idea. But his advice, Danny Browning's advice, was one, listen to the joke doctor, learn what a joke is, but then also be a comedy writer first. The confidence on stage comes from knowing your material is good. So write good material first, take it to the stage, do it dry, see how it works, and then add your personality to it after you have tested material, which is kind of what I'm trying to do now. Just by, just little things, saying fun words, saying digis instead of fingers. You know what I mean? So it's just stupid stuff. That I wouldn't normally say like in my bedroom.
That's what I was explaining that to somebody. I was like, when I'm writing one-liners, but I write out like storyteller, so it's really long. It's like I have to go back through everything, and I have to find the funny of the story. Like I thought of it in a story form, and my thoughts was like, what if this happened? It didn't come out as just 3 words. And I was like, and I know something's funny, and I say it sometimes when I find it, and the words I used writing it down wasn't funny. And you have to go through, all right, well, what are the same words that hit harder, because there it is. Like I explained, or if you watch the history of curse words, how psychologically when you hear fuck or use the word fuck, and it's like relieving and it's shocking, and just that's the way. That's kind of sometimes what you have to do, especially if it's a joke that's a play on words, like and a pun, and and it can completely change a joke too. Like just something that's simple, the psychology, and that's. Yeah, I think I might have learned that from the Jerry Corley shit too. Have you ever fuck around with the Greg Dean? Have you ever read any of his? I got his book on audio,
I
which sucks. I didn't know it had like writing shit in it, like a different thing. Like you're gonna need to take the workbook. I was like, I ordered it on Kindle. It didn't give me a worksheet. Like,
Dude, okay, so aside from I think the best Jerry Corley video for learning his method, like the list thing, is he has a video called 15 Jokes in 30 Minutes, and it's actually a 47-minute long video, so he's a liar. But it's really good.
when he's talking about Tiger Woods.
Tiger Woods, that one. But again, it's like I don't think most of the jokes he says in that are funny. But you can see the technique, and then you apply your sensibilities to it. You know, that's exactly what I did with my maple syrup bit. Maple syrup it's a 4-minute bit, and I just found a way to shoehorn anything I could think of with maple syrup into that bit. And be like, I need all the maple syrup dick jokes I could possibly make.
Do you have one about the elf in there? From
There's an elf?
Will Ferrell, the elf, and now he's always got fucking maple syrup with him in the movie.
Write that down.
Check it out. Like he's like they have spaghetti, and one night at dinner when he first gets to New York, and he's like putting
Okay, yeah. But fuck, what else? Oh yeah, so Jerry Corley not too long ago was on Hot Breath.
Yeah,
and that was 2 hours of just two comedy nerds talking, and it was great. But he told a Greg Dean story in there where it seems like Greg Dean's kind of a nefarious character. But
it came off like Greg Dean's got his nose in the air. He thinks he should be the, and you know, I don't know. If he really thought in today's world that something wasn't going to become saturated, like that's new, like being. Like, comedy is so popular. If you really think there wasn't going to be somebody else that was like, I'm going to teach people how to make jokes.
Yeah, but then like Jerry, I mean, it's everything. It's the whole. What's the old saying? We can see farther because we stand on the shoulders of giants. Thing. So Greg Dean probably did some very valid things. I don't know. I don't know any of them personally, obviously, but. Then Jerry Corley just took it to the next level, and somebody else is gonna take it to the next level after that. Like, because I mean, Jerry Corley points out like, I think it's like 13 laugh triggers. I can't remember half of them. I only know how to make 3 of them work. You know, so I don't know. Somebody's gonna come out with 24 in a couple of years.
I didn't find Jerry Corley until I already knew about the Greg Dean. And because I was looking into the what is it, the big famous comedy club out there in L.A.
Oh, Comedy Store.
The Comedy Store, because I think he's connected with them somehow, or that's he talked about that a lot, and I was looking into it, and he popped up, and that was right around the same time I was getting into comedy. I was like, oh shit, like, this is cool, and then of course next thing that was recommended on my feed was Jerry Corley videos. I was like, oh cool. And I thought it was just going to be a downward spiral from there. If I clicked on any other people, I found the Hot Breath, and that's I like that. I do. Mm-hmm. He's definitely he does all kinds of shit, like writing challenges and all kinds of stuff. And there used to be another one. It was the comedy industry. It was like the UK or something. They haven't put out any videos, I think, in almost a year. But it was. More of the people out there in England, UK, and stuff like that. The pod comedy.
What's that one called?
Comedy podcast industry or something like that.
Because dude, I love. That's the thing that they have with Edinburgh over there, because they have so many comedians you never heard of, but they all do that old like George Carlin, Louis C.K. method, where for Edinburgh they're like. They write a show for Edinburgh. They do it for a month. They hone it, that one show. And usually everything in that hour is one topic, you know, and then they tour it for the year, and I don't even know what month Edinburgh is. We'll just say it's in May, and so they book the next year's Edinburgh in March. They throw everything out, and they start over. Like dozens and dozens of comedians do that, and it's just, I don't know, just the way they write is insane. Like James Acaster is probably the best writer one of the best writers on the planet. It's staggering because he's so fucking silly, but everything is intertwined. He doesn't use a single punchline that isn't used again later. It's insane how smart he is.
Yeah, that's.
I went on a little road trip with Dormeyer, Gaffigan, and Boucher up to Mason City for an open mic a couple weeks ago, right? And well, not week, days ago, but we were talking about James Acaster, and I was like, if you guys just want to tip your toes in, he has a thing on one of the British panel shows where it's, they spin a wheel and they're like, the subject is adventure, and he goes up there and he just goes, I'm not very adventurous. I've only used one side of a cheese grater. And he just does 5 minutes on a cheese grater. You know what I mean? But it's smart.
Yeah.
The whole thing.
He took it to where he wants it.
It's so goofy and smart. You're just like, this is really good.
What does I seen one that was over there? It was like set up like interviewee style. Like a guy is sitting there, and then the other guy is asking him questions, and he gets up there and he says his name. He says, "I'm a comedian," and the guy's like, "Oh God, we'll find out real soon." And he asks him questions, and this comedian just hits him with like the best of the best answers every time, just quick one-line quips every time and throughout the whole thing. And I don't know if it was scripted or not, but it's so good that it might be scripted, because if that guy was that good with quips, it's like, man, that's like some Andrew Schultz shit. Mm-hmm. Like, he's a killer crowd work guy. I would love to try more. I've done a couple shows with Kyle Fields, and it's him, seeing him do it, it's just like, holy shit. Like,
dude, he's another one of those. So whenever we went to Mason City a couple days ago, like, I was second to last on the list, he was last, and it was just Mason City is kind of like backdoor in the middle of Illinois. It's a smaller club. Unfortunately, though, their open mics are usually just comedians. So open mic is a combo of improv shop and backdoor. But so yeah, just because it was me and 11 other comics, I didn't have the energy I should have. Like, you should still turn it on. Fuck it. These, especially those Springfield and Mason City comedians, they haven't seen my new shit, so they might still give me a good reaction. I should have given it all I got, and I got off stage, and it was, I was doing new shit, but it got some laughs. Some of it fell flat. But then Kyle Fields goes up, and he doesn't give a fuck that there's only 11 people there. He's screaming. He's slamming the mic stand down for emphasis. Like, he was having a ball. And he brought the house down with 11 cynical comics. Like, it's insane how good that dude is.
Yeah, no, he's one of those comedians. Like, I did the Red Flag show, mm-hmm. and I heard a couple people that had mentioned how big it was. Really hard to do comedy in such a big place with everyone spread out. Mm-hmm. And then you seen like a comic like Scott James, or the one that really did it was Reggie Edwards. Went up there and just you could hear laughter outside. It was that good. And I was like, it just pointed out, I was like, it didn't matter how many, there was enough people there to get, to have the house go. There was people laughing, gasping for air, like, this dude's fucking me up. Like, he crushed it. Like, he did so well. I was on the fucking messaging him, like, hey man.
Dude, he did a guest set on the first one, and he did the exact same thing. Honestly, I was on the first one, and I think I had it felt like a rough set, and it probably just was my set. I was definitely one of those people that was like, that was more difficult than I thought it was going to be. But then I was on a different Red Flag show like couple weeks later, and it was totally different. You know, it was just so. I mean, clearly, I was like, okay, that was on me. I did not, because I just went up and I was like, I'm just going to do my dick slap story, and that's it. Which that's hard to come out of the gate with. You know what I mean? To just be like,
Yeah.
hey, drugs and sex. What's up, y'all?
Yeah, the back door really messed me up not to when I did the last show, because I was just talking to Gary that day, and he's like, yeah, I'm giving the first two guys, I forget how much time, and then the next ones, he's like, and you guys are going to get you can do like 8 to 10. If you wanted to do 12, you could. And I was like, okay, cool. So I had a set prepared. Granted, I'm a one-liner, so I can cut shit out, but I still have some organization, so I'm not looking down at my notepad that much.
Mm-hmm.
And it fucked me all up, because the way I've been setting usually lately is I bring it in soft. I do my like dad jokes in the beginning, the word play, and none of the shocking stuff until the end, and then I just ease them in, and then I hit them with one real dirty one in the middle, and they get like like my favorite one that I've been using lately is like, Jesus is a horrible basketball player. He always gets crossed up. And it's
You're like, oh, you didn't know I'm an adult?
yeah, and then I just look at him like, oh, y'all better fucking buckle up, because it's getting worse. And I go into the abortion stuff and other things, and some crowds it really lands, some crowds it don't. Like I just started learning really the crowd, and the kind of crowd at the arena bar, the drunk, rowdy plays. Like, and I was doing so well the last 2 times I went there. Both times people wanted to buy me. They're like, one time they're like, you didn't write those jokes. I was like, what? And yes, I did. Like, I'm not a joke thief. Did you really write those? I was like, dude, those are like and I figured them out. They're drunk. Their attention spans this fucking long. That's gold for you. Like, just fucking, all they want to hear is horrible shit at that. What do you want to hear when you're drunk as shit? You're in the mood to hear that dirty comedy, so that's all I did, was my quickest, dirtiest one-liners real quick, and then let them heckle throughout it,
Yep. Dude, I think I was only there once. I think I only went to Arena Bar once. It was outside, and it was fine, but whew, it just, that place feels like at any moment you're gonna be in a meth explosion. It just has that air, just weird tension at all times. You're like, I don't know. So, and I've heard that inside it gets pretty wild.
Yeah, no, it's definitely it's a cool little place. We started doing that. I didn't have nothing to do with it, and I didn't go all the time, but it was when I had a free Wednesday and I hadn't done comedy in a while, or if I wanted to get a bomb out of the way, like is how it was in the beginning, until I actually started doing good there, because I got to this point, like. Especially after at the beginning of this year, I've been really trying to trash a lot of old jokes and bring in new stuff, and figure out crowds, learn my crowd, like you were saying, the psychology and everything. And I started with the arena. I was like, this is the wildest fucking crowd. Yeah. If you can figure this one out, the rest should be a cakewalk. And it really wasn't. You break it down, like you said,
their psychology is just surly.
Yeah, it's just like they're drunk, so be drunk. Like, all right, this is how you gotta set it up. Just, you're a one-liner. Just do horrible one-liners. Fuck, I don't have to. It's really hard to probably tell a long 4-minute long story to a bunch of drunk people that are trying to tag every single sentence you say. And so I was like, don't have anything that they can tag. Tag it before then.
Dude, that's why it's hard to even work on stories. Like, the only time I ever did my dick slap story was I was at Backdoor, and I was like, Tobin, I have a story. I think it's funny. I think it is. Do you mind if I get a couple extra minutes tonight? And he was like, yeah. And that was I tried to work it out at Improv Shop a couple times, but it's like I only got halfway through. Like, I would get to the part of the story where I slapped a dick, and then I'm like, all right, see ya. You know what I mean? So there's no conclusion, and it's just so weird. But it's like, well, I guess my booster jokes kind of worked, and so like I know where my first beat is. Get it? But sorry. But yeah, it's real hard to work on stories, especially because like even at the smaller clubs, man, sometimes they're just not listening. They're still there to just drink and have you be background noise. So working stories is hard. That's why, like, most of my premises still is, you get a premise and then I just do a series of one-liners in that premise to keep the laughs per minute. And every once in a while, if I get one where that's big enough, I'm like, okay, cool, I need to tag that one a couple times. But for the most part, like I think like my favorite bit to do, because it's the one I worked on the most, is about the age difference between Monica and I, right? And it's 5 one-liners in a row, and then I just, what is it? Oh, and then I come up with the premise of like, because she is 13 years younger than me, she's teaching me all the lingo, and then I make just over the top stupid jokes about, like, we were in the bedroom, as the kids say, fucking, just to hammer it home. But then I added a new one on last Thursday about, and she has to, in my act for a while anyway, she has to stay 24. She just turned 25, but she has to stay 24 because it's the whole idea. Same thing, learning the lingo, it slaps. And because she's 24, we're doing this role play where I work at Enterprise Rent-A-Car, and she really needs a vehicle. But I'm a stickler for the rules. So if she wants that Saturn coupe, she has to, as the kids say, suck my dick off. And just really over the top, just fucking smash people with the stupidest thing you could say. That one's just for me. It just happened to work, so I'm keeping it.
That's I tag some, but I feel, I don't know, I just have it, like, I don't really have to. I have so many jokes that I'm trying to work on, and I'm only doing open mics. Now, when I did, like, the red flag, I got to actually expand on a lot more things, because I got, like, subjects that I have. Like you said, you write, you have one subject and you wrote a bunch of one-liners. And that's most, like, the experienced storytellers I've talked to or tried to talk to me. They're like, and they find out I'm a one-liner. They're like, I remember when I first started, I did one-liners. I was like, actually, when I first started, I was a storyteller. It's like, so I've actually progressed into the one-liner instead of being the one-liner that progressed into the storyteller. And actually, the past few open mics, I did the storytelling. Like, I have a Black History Month joke that my pops kind of helped me work on a little bit, because my stepdad, because he's black, and so it's just about how our white ancestry, when they first heard about Black History Month, they were like, what? A whole month? Not like a weekend Cinco de Mayo thing, but a whole month? That can't happen. Then somebody got smart in that group and was like, we want reparations, actually. And they're like, which month did you want? Pulled the calendar out and shit. Was like, which one? Shut up, Billy. We're going to give them February. I don't care if your wife's birthday is in February. And I was like, and who the fuck owns days anyways? Like, I ain't never been able to pay the weed man or a bar tab with fucking days. Like, how do you just dedicate days to somebody? What the fuck is a day? Like, oh, we need that check, motherfucker. And
yeah, I mean, you also have the what is it? The getting pulled over without weed joke.
Oh yeah,
yeah, that one's more of a story.
Yeah. That's been my closer for a while.
Check the glove box.
And but recently, since I've been doing all these shows down in the city, they have these fucking blue and red flashing lights everywhere on top of their lights. And I literally thought on the way to one of those shows, my first time, I was getting pulled over and shit. And I like double looked, and she was like, am I? No, that's a light. So I went on there. I was like, whose idea was it for all these blue and red flashing lights? Because I pulled over for 20 minutes, ate an ounce of weed, shoved a ball of blow up my ass. It's still up there. Like, I waited so long, I turned around to see if he was okay.
Call it a blowhole. Boom.
And so I do stories still, I guess, sometimes, just when I'm like, I'm tired of these jokes. I've got like 2 or 3 notebooks just full of stories that I can't turn into the one-liners.
Send me one. But no, like whenever you have like the stories with the one punchline, like you're saying, like where you break it down to one punchline, that could be, all of those could probably be sketches.
Yes, and that's what I've been looking at. I've noticed that a lot of stuff I do, I was like, each one of these is just a main talking point for a sketch. Like,
Dude, the thing that got me with sketches again, because I looked up the structure of them before I was trying to do them, is it's you. So most sketches you want to be under 3 minutes. If you can get them under a minute and a half, all the better. But you want 3 acts. That's the main key. First act, you introduce conflict, whatever it may be, right? Second act, the main character tries to fix it, but somehow, whoops, he makes it worse. Third act, twist ending. You know what I mean? Maybe he solves it, but somehow it's, make it humorous. But you have to have the acts.
who does all the STL lives, like, putting it out online? Because I don't see enough of it. Like, if they got so many comedians, and they should have a lot of content that they're pushing, shouldn't they?
I think Matt Schmidt was the dude who was behind most of it, but like you can get on Artists United has a Facebook group. STL Live is like under the Artists United umbrella. So I think they put it out too, but I mean they just have a Facebook. But like what it seems like they've been posting lately is they just keep going live. They keep going live, and I see a bunch of people like just singer songwriters singing songs, which is odd.
I'm supposed to have a musician on, a rapper, this Friday, Gorilla J of the Egan Rats.
Yeah, we know Gorilla.
Yeah,
Yeah, we performed with him.
Oh, okay.
We did a benefit show a year and a couple months ago, and
Yeah, like that group, him, John, Dubflow, or Cody, and Antonio. That's like guys I kind of grew up fucking around with.
dude, Monica and I, we were playing some acoustic songs, and we decided we wanted to do an acoustic version of Colt 45 by Afro Man, and so we were like, well, this one would be fun to have a beat on, and so we brought them all on stage, the Egan's Rats guys, and we jammed that out. It was pretty good, and then we tried to recreate it a couple months later at some award show, and it still was all right. It was just slightly different energy.
Yeah.
But the first one was great. It was really good.
Yeah. I've seen, I think, all of their very first shows each time they performed. Like Antonio's very first show, I flew it back here to St. Louis from the beach to see it at Pops. It was like the Pops that they had the stage closed off, curtained off and shit. It was like the small section of Pops that you could be in.
Dude, I might have been there. I've seen Discrepancies a ton of times.
This was before Discrepancies.
What? Yeah, then I was not there.
Yeah, there was a group called Cypher with Larry Smiley Boy, which is Larry. I think Larry Hall, I think is his name.
I don't think I know that dude.
Yeah, he was. He's done some stuff with the Discrepancies and Egan's Rats, and then it was Dubflow, which is Cody, the other guys in Egan Rats, and Antonio, and they had a little rap group. And then Antonio did his own thing. And Antonio used to actually do comedy rap. He's got a few comedy raps out there. Like one is called I Think I Hit a Fucking Deer, because one year he went through like 3 cars by deer jumping out there.
I hope that came through.
I was like, oh, he's just, he's blowing out my bar stool. I'm going to go over there. It's going to be all angled. Got the gangster lean on it. He blew a flat.
Dude, I was in a pop punk band, one of the last bands I was in before I quit doing bands. And I didn't even... this one, it was not ran by me at all, but I'm glad it happened. Our drummer sent one of our tracks to Antonio, and Antonio laid something down, which was very cool.
Yeah, no, he's all about helping out locals and stuff. That's what I think I've seen him really doing lately. With right before COVID, he was like really putting because he brought in, because it was Cody, Antonio, and Larry had the Cypher. Larry moved to Carolina and left, and they replaced Larry with Gorilla J, and they did that for a little while, and then they broke up, and Antonio kind of did his own little thing, and they met I think it was Danny Matty and Garrett and Addison and all of them because they were. And then they decided to put the band together. And
Can we just talk about Addison's teeth for a second? Whew, those are some good teeth.
good teeth.
I'm so jealous of his teeth. Oh man!
I've never seen him.
Look up some pictures. He's a handsome man.
He just had a kid and shit last year, didn't
Okay,
he?
less handsome.
Less handsome?
Yeah, that takes it down a couple pegs.
I was so shocked to find that out. But yeah.
What, that Addison fucks? That's rude.
No, just that he had a kid already. And then I found out who it was with, and I used to have the biggest crush on his old lady's older sister. We were in a couple classes when I went to school out here. She was so hot. I don't know what about her was so hot to me. Maybe she was a little blonde, little athletic chick because I was an athlete too, and I was just like, oh my god. And then I grew up.
What did she play?
I think basketball.
Other than with not you.
Yeah, not me. I think it was like basketball, a couple different sports, maybe volleyball. It probably definitely was volleyball because of those shorts.
And those shoulders.
I don't know about the shoulders. I've never. We had this thing when I was at the basketball because we had practice and they had the volleyball court and games in the newer gym, and we always practiced in the old gym. We'd always, after every fucking practice, anytime the girls were playing volleyball, we're like, "Yep, going to watch the game," because we get to get in free. And like, if you're in high school and you're not going to the girls' volleyball games, what are you doing with your life? Like, really, you wait till you're our age. You'll pay good money for that. And you're going to pay real good money to get 10 chicks on the floor in booty shorts like that. I don't know what they're doing. Last volleyball game I've seen, they were barely, it was like, is this volleyball? Or like, are we shooting something for Pornhub?
I'm glad I'm blind, so I don't have to be creepy. I don't have to chime in. I'm just like, yeah, no, I'm good.
It's bad. Like,
I don't
they
want to
have
hear
the big
shoes squeaking and balls.
Well, I'm not talking
bouncing.
about the high schools anymore. Like, I grew up on the beach, and they have the volleyball courts out there on the beach, and it's just the stuff that these chicks wear. It's like you're trying to fucking embarrass these guys because we're in board shorts. You can see our boners.
No, it's the pleats. Yeah, I wear pleated khakis to swim. It's fine.
Out on the beach. That's like the first. That's when I met years ago, before he was even popular or famous. He was like still underground. He stole my girlfriend. My girlfriend, like, it was we weren't like serious or anything, but she left with him on his tour van. The rapper that went up against MGK, the guy. He was fucking around with this chick that I was fucking around with, and he came out on the beach to get some shit, and him and his buddies that came out there wore their like nice ass fucking Jordans and all kinds of jewelry. I was like, dude, the sand's gonna be in all of that shit. You're never gonna get the sand out of them J's. Everywhere you go, there's gonna be sand.
So you lost a girl to Machine Gun Kelly.
Yeah.
So
she even changed her name on Facebook to Machine Gun Kelsey.
So, was she ever Brad Kelsiford? Did that ever count? Or were you your lower level? Okay,
No, she just
that's
enjoyed
almost an IMDb credit.
Yeah.
So that's cool.
Yeah, well, I mean, now, but he wasn't nobody back then. I was like, damn, who is the guy? Like, nobody even knew him. Like, I didn't. I guess the kids, she was younger than me, too. I was thinking I was 25, maybe 24. And she was
12.
Yeah. Which I can't stand listening to I don't really like Machine Gun Kelly. Not because of that. It's just, you messed with M. That's my fucking generation. Like, we knew you were going to. Which, have you seen the Tom McDonald or heard that new shit? The woke shit?
I don't know what that is.
You don't know the Tom McDonald guy, rapper?
None
He's
of
this white dude that's been rapping, and he talks about real controversial subjects. And he's got this new song out called Woke or Fake Woke or something like that. And I think he's taking shots at Eminem in it. Like, because he calls him out about how he would, about beating his mom or talking shit on his mom, but then telling people to unfollow him for Trump or something. Like, makes it says him. Actually says his name, calls him out, and this dude gets millions and millions of views and shit. I looked at it, I was like, first day he released it, it was like 3 million views. I was like, oh shit, this might get to him. Like, it took 3 years to Machine Gun Kelly shit to get there.
Dude, this is why I think we need to get like a group of comedians together that aren't gonna get butt hurt, and we just need to start like beefs. We need, you know what I mean? Do the roast battle thing, but do it on social media because that shit'll get more attention than anything else we do at this level.
Oh,
you
yeah,
know what I mean?
Yeah.
We just
one controversial post is all it takes. And like, and if it's a group of, I don't know, because you got people like that, like Mike Ratcliffe that does the videos and the memes and can create you on a meme. He like overlays your face on a Jenna Jameson fucking porno.
Posting, whenever I posted my round of the roast battle with Blodgett, that is, I mean, it's gotten 20 times more views than anything else I've ever posted, ever.
Really?
Yeah. Like, it did so good. You know?
And that right there, I wanted, when I first started putting that together, I wanted it to be like a typical roast because I see that they have the East Coast and the West Coast, they do run a competition. And then they get the best of the best from those two sides, and then they have an East Coast versus West Coast. Well, don't forget about us, guys. You know, like we could have. And so what I did is I reached out when I was hosting one weekend at the Back Door and met the guy that was performing at Chicago. Was from Chicago. He got me connected to one of the club owners out there, which was interested. And he was talking to a guy in Atlanta and Indianapolis. He's like, I know somebody, you know, that might be interested in getting it. And I was like, well, cool. So I kind of was putting it off. But I had already sent Mike an email about, I was like, hey, this is how we can set it up and do it. If we were like to announce it this week, it would be, we could do it at this time. And then everybody would have 2 weeks that signed up for each round. And that's all it was going to be, one round. And then you had 2 weeks to prepare material for the next round. And it was going to be rounds like that. So it could be strung out. And it ended up getting thrown all together because he texted me
I
like
was counting on that.
he like he emailed me on Facebook and was like, hey, I was thinking about doing it this way. I was like, hey man, this is your thing. Like, this is your club. Do it if you want it. You take the fuck. And like I wanted comedians to be actually part of the judge, and the judges actually have to talk and give their feedback. I wanted it to be just like they have already, because I'm a firm believer in, if it isn't broke, don't try to fucking fix it. It's obviously getting millions of views and making money. We could have just kind of piggybacked our way into that with guys like you, and that Quentin and Jason shit was hilarious. Like that was, it was because it was inside. Yeah.
That one was real, and there was actual tension in the thing, because like, yeah, with me, I mean, you have to know that Alex is my friend. He walked me on stage. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
He had to walk me to his own ass whooping, which is great.
Fucked up.
Dude, that was fun. And then fucking, I was so lucky that I got to bypass through to the finals, because we had found out the night before that they're doing the whole thing that night. But like, dude, I'm not an off the cuff riff guy at all. Yeah. I'm a writer and a memorizer. Right. And so I'm just in the back of the room and I'm trying to write, and I had some extra like miscellaneous jokes that I was just like, well, most of the people competing are bland white guys, so I have all these white guy jokes that I can, you know, put on any of them.
Yeah.
You know, one of them on Gaffigan, because Gaffigan's a twiggy little kid, and
he killed me. I got bodied, like somebody said. I think he said it to Jules. He's like, I bodied your husband. He's like, bitch, I will body you right here. I am strapped right now. Don't you know I'm strapped right now? Keep it up.
That was his hang 3 joke was fucking great.
Yeah, that was that. I even told him, I gave him plenty of props. I was like, I almost want to give you a little bit of money because I know you need it. But then again, I look at your dad's car and I'm like, fuck that kid.
Yep. But dude, whenever I went up there, one of the jokes I had was an extra. It was an extra joke I had about Blodgett, and it was, you know, I can't remember what it was about, but it was just about Old Country Buffet, and it kind of was just, you know, an obese joke, but I fucking threw it on Gaffigan because I was like, I got nothing else. I'm just gonna put a fat joke on this twiggy little twink.
Yeah. See, my problem is all the jokes I kept testing was I tried to test them with my wife. I was still in that stage of like with a lot of my jokes, and she's not great to bounce something off of. Because I was gonna mention just like he does a joke about him, I think, looking like a dyke.
Gaffigan?
Yeah, or something like that. I was like, I had a bull dyke joke about him, how he was like the bottom to a bull dyke or something like that.
I know he has a twink joke. I don't know if he had. I don't know.
And then so there's I had a couple of different like they were much worse, and I only had like I think like a couple of days to prepare them, and I just ended up everything I tried to tell her. She's like, "You can't say that." I was like, "Why?" Like, that's body shaming. That's this. That's that. I was like, "It's not. He's he's white privileged ass fucking."
Dude,
you know, like I don't. He's cool though. Don't get me wrong. I'm talking shit because he is that. He's done really well for. Where's he at a year now?
Well, he's a little bit over a year, but yeah, he's doing real good.
I know because he started around the same time as me.
The kid writes, but dude, that's the same. Like I was so glad that me and Alex's round was first, and before we went up there, I told him I want to go first because my very first words are Alex Blodgett is autistic. And because I just kind of wanted to set the tone right away. I was like, guys, this is what we're doing. This is what a roast is. If you're not aware, I'm going in on him hard. You know?
Yeah, no, that was the loudest I've ever heard that place too. I've seen some good shows there, but that was like I went out to smoke a cigarette and you could just hear the fucking laughter from out there, like loud. I was like, damn.
Dude, it was wild, but then also like, okay, hypothetically, if they were to do another one whenever Backdoor opens, which hopefully soon, Tobin, where's the camera? Soon.
Yeah.
Anyway, but dude, okay, so how big is the area where Nick Lacer stands by the soundboard? Like, is there enough room there for 2 or 3 chairs?
No, maybe
Damn.
2.
Because I'm just thinking of where the judges could be, where they're, because like I even think like even if someone starts, because like in one of, I don't know if both coasts do this, where in between jokes they do like act outs and shit. It doesn't have to be like a full act out, but even if it's just that, because like
where he has that little place where all the comics have to go. Well, the comics could have set it up to where the comics were on the far left in the back corner, and the judges and all the other tables. There was only one table with the judges sitting at it, and we could have just put a spotlight right on the judges as it was, just like they have it set up on there to where it's across away from the stage and everyone. Because you can turn and look at all of them and see and he's got the wireless mic set up. He should have just had the wireless mics over there and used the wired mics on the stage.
Because like I do think I think roasts need that professional wrestling aspect. You know what I mean? Like even the comedians, yeah, of course, play to win. But if you get hit with a good one, fucking act hurt. You know what I mean? All it's going to do is make the show better as a whole. But then also, like, have the judges be, I would love to be a judge for it. Like, I would love to do
That's what I
roast
wanted
battle.
to do. I wanted to have the comedians that performed at the show, that early show on Friday, because he only had one. I wanted to use the headliner and the features as the judges for the roast battle. Because I was like, they're comedians. Most of the ones I'm sure could he usually has headliners with some, he doesn't bring on amateurs often ever.
Dude, the next day, the headliner was Steve Kramer, and I think he told me 6 different times. He's like, man, I'm just so happy you guys used some of the terrible language you did. He was like, he's like, everybody's so PC now, and you guys were so mean. And I was like, well, thank you.
Yeah.
Because like, dude, that's another reason I really was excited to do it. I think I'm meaner than most people think I am.
Yeah.
Honestly, because like I have to be nice to people because hey, I might need you to walk me to the bathroom. But it's like I was like, I'm gonna go in on these kids hard.
Yeah, no, that show turned out well. Like somebody, I think Ronaldo or that Mexican, somebody, one
Yeah.
of one of the comedians there was like, after the end, it was like, this turned out really great. You should do this again and keep your name with it. Like keep your name on this and do it again. So I've chopped the idea around, and I had that Bobby's, and I guess I still have Bobby's place. I'm not sure. I hope so. I mean, I was in contact with one of the owners, and he was going to let me do shows, have full control of the room and the stage.
How
And
about the TVs?
yeah, all the TVs would have been off.
Yes.
The only thing, yeah, there would have been, and it wouldn't have been during no game. That was the trickiest part with the scheduling shows was the games, hockey and baseball games. So, yeah, but I had it all figured out there. He would even like allow the security that they have there because they have doorman there, like a couple big ass door guys, and he would have had them with flashlights that could flash them down, and if people are being rowdy and everything. So and he would let me set the room up however I wanted with tables and like I had full control over the room. And we were working on. He had his distributor or something like that was willing to probably, if it went well, bank up a banner that had advertising, and we were working out all the details. And I had the show set up, and shit, I even contacted Greg Warren for it at one point, and he actually responded. Then he was in Cincinnati because he had just released that special that he was on, so. It worked out. It didn't. I mean, he'd said he would do it when he came back, but then COVID, and then COVID shut it down twice. I was like, "Fuck this!" I was ready to quit comedy. I was like, "Fuck all this." COVID and shit shut down my 2 shows. I spent a bunch of money, went and bought a printer that could do flyers and like all real nice shit, and this mic, a bunch of mic stands and all that shit.
Dude, in a way, I mean, again, back to this is just because comedy writing's kind of my obsession. So sorry, but like, dude. That COVID was kind of a blessing for me anyway, just because like right now there are so many people who used to be like a couple tiers above me who've just kind of quit doing it, which is great. But also between that and like having the time to sit back and, like I said, learn how to write a joke, it's like, it feels like most everybody's kind of starting at square one right now. So like I'm not saying I'm succeeding by any means, but I'm doing all I can to take the slots of some of the people who aren't around anymore who have been doing it 6 or 7 years.
Oh, no, yeah, you've definitely been putting in the work. You still stayed at those fucking open mics. I've seen you, because I'm still would consider myself an open micer that just hits the open mic circuit. And if someone offers me a show, great. I've been offered a couple shows lately because they want to be on the podcast, I think.
Nice.
But I've turned one down just because I'm not going to try to. I'm not that much of a piggybacker. I'm in the spot and wanted me to drive all this place. I was like, I'm good, man.
What spot was it?
I think it was like is Indianapolis or Indiana.
Oh shit. Okay, yeah. Whenever it gets to like 6 hours,
yeah,
then you're like, man, I gotta question this a little bit.
Yeah. Well, it's just going to cost me more for a podcast and a free fucking. And they wanted me to do a show, and it was in the middle of COVID or whatever. When I first started putting this thing together, and I was talking to that guy about a show, and I was like, "Well, let me know your dates, and I'll announce the shows, whatever you got. I don't know how many people I reach, but I got no problem giving you a shout out on it." He's like, "Oh, I'm out in St. Louis all the time. I'll come out there and put me on the podcast." And it just wasn't worth me driving all the way out there. The money, I wasn't getting paid nothing.
Mm-hmm.
Like that's, and I'm not one of those guys that's because I'll go pay $5-10 to get on an open mic. I got no problem with that. I threw Mike fucking a donation when COVID first happened and we got our first checks because it was. Did my job, I stimulated, motherfucker.
Dude. Yeah, right now, man, that's really what it is. You just
And if nobody else seen that, these clubs were hurting and didn't take the initiative to throw them a fucking $50 to $100 to guarantee yourself to get on the list every time they post, that's your fucking loss.
Yeah. That's why, dude, I love Tobin so much is just because right out of the gate, whenever Backdoor started, and I hadn't even performed there yet, I was like, dude, I got this vision thing going on, and no offense, your website is not blind friendly. So I was like, how about you just put me up? and if you like me, keep putting me up. And that night I did, like, I had a 5-minute set planned. I think I only got through like 3 minutes of it because the laughs were stupid. Whenever Backdoor first opened,
It's great.
every single open mic, every weekend show was packed, man. And that's like, I hope we can get back to that. I know he told me, last thing he told me is he's given a little bit more time until more people have the opportunity to get the vaccine, which is unfortunately vague. But
The
dude,
vaccine. Are you gonna take it?
I'm gonna wait. I'm gonna go ahead and see if anybody starts growing shit out of their ears before I take. I mean, because other, they don't care about blindness in terms of the disabilities that are,
You find out it cures blindness.
Oh,
You're like, damn it! I've been waiting this whole time.
But then I'd lose all my materials. I don't know. I don't know. I might just keep it because blind isn't that bad.
Going up there, I used to be blind. You
Yeah,
see?
and here's a bunch of weird things. I don't know, man. What were we talking about?
Tobin in the Backdoor Comedy Club.
Oh yeah. It just, he's just a good dude. He's just a good dude. He was like, okay, cool. You have this challenge, but he told me right out really early on. He's like, I could tell that you work. So if you want on, you're on. And I was like, that is great. But I also need you to put Gaffigan on because I need a ride. And he was still able to. He was still just like, okay, cool. Gaffigan works, right? And I was like, yeah, Gaffigan writes. So he's like, as long as you guys are working, keep coming.
Yeah, I really like him. He's one of the only club owners that I've met. I don't know if you met the Funny Bone owner or I've never met him, but
okay, so the dude who owns Funny Bone, like actually owns it, I think his name is Gerald. And my one interaction with him was not good because he didn't know I was blind and I didn't know he was talking to me. He was at the bar and he was talking to Matt, the manager. And this was Greg Warren's weekend. And again, it was so packed, they didn't even have a single chair in the room for me to watch the show. It was just like whenever the show was damn near over, they'd bring me in and walk me to the stage so I could do the last, end of show announcements and shit. But so he's sitting there and he asks, is this my wife's beer? But I had no clue he was talking to me. And he was like, oh, great. Another fucking comedian that doesn't like me. And I was like, no, sir, sir, no, there's a thing going on here. So I don't know if I'll ever talk to him again. But, no, dude, the owner up in Mason City, like there's another, I think they only have like 1 or 2 open mics a month there. And it is 2 hours and 8 minutes from Granite City. So it's a solid 3 hours from you probably. But if you wanted to go, man, it's,
which mic is this?
It's in Mason City, but it's a comics only mic for the most part, But we went, again, me and Dormeyer, Gaffigan, Boucher, and the owner talked to all of us afterwards. His name's Chris. He's a good dude. He's a comic, so he gets it. Yeah. And yeah, same. It's
What's
just
the club's name?
Mason City Limits.
Mason City Limits.
Yep. In Mason City, it's so weird, man. You're just driving, and it's just like fields on either side of you, and all of a sudden, you're in the main strip of Mason City. It just pops up out of nowhere, and there's like a comedy club, a restaurant, and a movie theater, and that's fucking it. And everybody lives out in the sticks, but apparently they show up on the I don't know. I'm doing a weekend here in a couple weeks now. But again, it's just Chris appreciates the people who are willing to drive the 2 hours to go up to his club.
Yeah.
And
I ain't got no problem. 2 hours ain't nothing to me. I'm already an hour away from, like in the back door, I'm already 45, 50 minutes from, depending on traffic, from the Funny Bone or the Helium. So that's nothing for me. I drive 3-4 times a week to the city. It's 51 minutes from here.
Yeah. Dude, it's a good time, especially now, like, so the comedians up there, they have some good comedians in Springfield. Yeah. Really good. Like that's where I met Kyle Fields, just going up there and doing the Donnie B's mic back in the day. And
when does it have those nights?
Okay, so I don't know if Donnie B's is even doing open mics right. Donnie B's, the actual club closed, and they were, because it was like a combo club restaurant, and Donnie, I don't know what was that, something he was very public about his money issues, but I wasn't paying attention. But okay, so Donnie B's, the club is closed, but he's still booking out a VFW hall on the weekends. And so Donnie B is an old man. He has some health issues, and he had to have a tumor removed. And so the VFW hall shows closed, but he's back and he's booking weekends. I don't know if the open mic's happening. But again, it's just they book a lot of the same people that you're going to see at Backdoor. But then also the first weekend back, they had John Morgan, which John Morgan's a Funny Bone favorite. Like, he's an A-club comedian, and he's at a fucking VFW hall in Springfield, Illinois. But they also have, they get Mr. Showtime. The two dudes at Donnie B's I opened for were James Yan, who, funny dude from Florida, and Dobie Maxwell, which was probably the roughest nights of shows I've ever had. It's the only... It was like... It's the first time I've... This is going to sound cocky, but generally whenever the crowd's bigger, it's easier. So I'm actually less nervous if there's 100 people instead of 12. Because, again, I get self-conscious about my lack of eye contact whenever there's just a couple people and we're all aware that this is a very intimate thing. But
but with a bigger crowd, you also have a better lead. You'll have more lead laughs, as I call them. People that sure. You can really, just laugh at anything. You get those, and they help everybody else loosen up and laugh along with them.
Dude,
and
whenever I opened for Dobie, both shows, Donnie B's was a decent-sized room. I think it was capacity is 150. And both shows, early show and late show, were pretty, I'm going to say 80% full. And they didn't give a fuck. Yeah. I'm up there. It was just a fucking 10-minute monologue. It was horrible. But then I got off stage, and I know it sucks to wish this on anybody, but Dobie also kind of bombed. So I was like, oh, thank God. Thank God it wasn't just me. This crowd is just the worst group of humans that's ever happened.
So when is that Mason City one? When do they do open mics? What night is theirs?
Their next open mic, I think he said, was February 19th. It's a Friday night. I'm going up there on February 12th and 13th, and they're doing co-headliners is Joe the Animal Lancy and Larry Smith.
I seen you and James.
Yes, James is also opening those shows, which is, again, the reason you should go to the open mic.
Oh, no, that's I was asking when is the open mic, because I didn't know if they didn't do it weekly. Yeah, they're going to get a whole swarm of people out that now.
Dude.
2 hours, like I said, 2 hours, it doesn't bother me. I paid $5 last night at the Word Up. I paid $5 for me and Mike to perform. Yeah,
the cool thing about that set, the weekends is, like I said, the owner is a comic, so he'll go up and host, so you don't even have to worry about doing the hardest part of the night. You just go up. You generally right now, I'm sure it'll be guest sets for everybody, but it's still 10 minutes. It's a really good stage.
Yeah, no, 10 minutes is a great little amount of time to work on on an open mic, or just your guest set on something. He gives you 10 minutes.
Yeah.
Nice.
Dude, oh man, I don't know. I'm probably going to do it on my weekend there, but I just wrote a new, this is going to be tricky because I know that going right into maple syrup, talking about my dick right out of the gate, it might turn people off. But I thought of a callback for maple syrup in my dick slap story, which, it seems obvious. I probably should have had it all along, but I'm just now starting to learn how to do callbacks, and I can't wait to do it. That's going to be a filthy set. Obviously, from start to finish, it's just dicks everywhere. But I'm real excited to do it.
Yeah, it's just, I worked, last time I really tried to do a callback to where I hit a joke in the beginning, really, all the way, and the ending joke tags that fucking beginning joke, I think it was, and I didn't do too well. It didn't. I don't think it did. I forget which one it was. Yeah, I can't find it right now, but it was. I think it was the Red Flag show. Didn't do well. Shouldn't have been trying new stuff at a show like that though. But they cut my time. They told me I was getting 10 to 12 or whatever, and then they said, "All right, we'll give you the light at 7 minutes." It's like, motherfucker, what do you mean 7 minutes? You just told me. And so it kind of threw me off. But I mean, it was a good show. It was a good. It's a nice place. It's big. It's new. It's clean. It's comfortable, especially during COVID. I don't like a bunch of people around me,
Dude,
anyways.
Same. Like, we were just at Funny Bone last night, and maybe I don't know if this is a blind thing or a me on the spectrum thing, but like, so many people were in the lobby afterwards, and it was just so close and so loud. And also, I think COVID kind of has made me more socially awkward. But I was like, I gotta get the fuck out of here.
Yeah.
Just people everywhere bumping into you, loud comics being like, my dick, no, my dick. I'm just like, I don't.
I want to get out of here.
Yeah, I want to go outside and talk about my dick quietly.
Yeah, I don't. That's one thing I think they need to control a little bit at the Funny Bone. Is the guys in the lobby talking real loud during the sets. It just annoys me as in a crowd. In the crowd, when a comedian's trying to talk and you hear the conversation back there, it just takes your attention from what they're saying. Then you miss half the joke and you're pissed off because everyone else is laughing and you're not, and you don't get the joke. But I don't know. I haven't performed at the fight. Was there a lot of people? Was people starting to come back there?
From what I haven't hit too terribly many open mics at Funny Bone lately. I was on, yesterday I went and just jumped on, which was nice. They were able to give me a spot. I was on the list for Sunday. Sunday was pretty light and pretty quiet. Like they were just a really reserved crowd all night. Last night was pretty, I don't know, for an open mic, it was like 25 people. It was fine, but there was a lot of table talk, unfortunately. So,
is it 25?
Yeah, 20. Which,
that's not bad.
Yeah, for open mics, dude, even before COVID, I think open mics, the most you could ever hope for was 50. So it's not terrible.
Yeah, you could always, like the back door was good for a good 25 open mic minimum.
Minimum, sure. There were several of their open mics where it was capacity.
Yeah.
Yeah,
and
like go stand outside, nights. Capacity.
Yeah. And those are the nights. That's kind of what I want before. I have a set of jokes that I've worked on and a set that I've got that I want to do and record so I can have something to be able to send out, because I'm working on getting a real nice camera, 2 of them, because I'm going to upgrade the podcast.
Dude, I hate all my tapes. I hate it. But honestly, what I've, in the couple times I've left town, I've gotten more like out of town work out of just recommendations from people than a tape.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Word of mouth is probably the strongest.
I don't think I've ever gotten even a single response from any of my tapes. No, okay, I did once. I got the first weekend I got at Donnie B's was off of the strength of a tape. But I'd also been going to Donnie B's for like a year at that time. And I was like, hey, here's me at one of the helium competitions, you know. And now I watch that video and I'm like, fuck these jokes. Fuck them.
Yeah, that's when they recorded the competition.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they didn't record this last one. Bastards.
Yeah. I recorded my own, but it didn't go very well. I got beat by a first timer.
I got beat by Purdy B, the lady that won it. Her and JC.
That was Precious.
Yeah, Precious. Not
but
Purdy
is awesome.
Yeah, Purdy kills. She's supposedly, like, Nate said she wanted to come on and he was gonna set it up, and you can't you can't rely on nobody. No, nothing like that. I know he's got a lot going on, but I haven't been able to get everybody I book that lives out there in the city. They like look the day of. They look at the fucking address, look it up, and they're like, "Dog, you live like 45 minutes away." I can't do it, bro. I can't even make it, dude. Not gonna. No. Sorry, man. I was just leaving. I thought it was. I was like, you didn't look at this. So now anybody I message, I'm like, this is about how far I live. Here's the address. This is how long the podcast usually goes for, and most people have been cool with it, but I've had quite a few cancel. Tonario, Blodgett, Elijah. I get Elijah. He doesn't have a car. You know.
That kid
he was like, I'm walking. I'm like, dude, if I get off early enough, where are you walking from?
I'll just pick you up wherever you happen to be.
Yeah.
That kid, I don't know.
like nuts. Which I remember I went through that phase. For about a year and a half, maybe two. I was not homeless. I had a tent in my car. I had a tent in the woods in my car that me and my dog we kicked it. And I lived so much life throughout those 2 years. Like probably more than the average human lives throughout their whole, just with meeting people and just couch surfing everywhere. But I always had my tent to go back to, you know. There'd be a couple weeks I was gone in Maryland because I met some tourists out on the beach that were on vacation, and they're like, "Hey, we're going to Maryland next for blah whatever party," and it's like, "I'm down, let's go." I was the guy that brought the weed and the drugs.
Dude, I'm pretty sure. Like Elijah's like a trashier Hunter S. Thompson. You know, like Fisherman
That's
S.
below.
Thompson.
Yeah, I watched not like a documentary, but somebody was talking about who was it? About Hunter S. Thompson and how like maybe he's not as cool as we all think. There's a lot of darkness around him, deep like.
Well, you don't say.
Yeah, not like, but like
Nobody
some.
takes that mescaline if they're just bright and happy.
Yeah, but he was kind of a weirdo of some sort.
You can't pretend to be shocked about that.
Yeah, I guess all those, every artist or something, you know, the good ones, which makes me realize I'm not gonna be shit.
Same.
Because I'm cool, man. No,
I just want to be a road dog. Hopefully, I'm trashy enough to just be a road dog.
that's what me and Lacer were talking about. He's like, I just want to get good enough to where like I can make minimum wage McDonald's fucking money, and I'll quit my job and go on the road and do comedy. I want to get that good enough for that.
I talked to him outside a back door one night after the mic, and he was like, "Dude, we should go on the road." And I was like, "Fuck yeah, we should." I would love to go on the road with Lacer, just because he's such a good dude.
Yeah, I want to have him back on because he expressed he had a really good time, and so did I. And he's a good dude, like you said. Like, and he's into like a lot of the space shit, like me, and aliens and all that crazy shit. Like, dude, with the government, what they just released about we've recovered an unearthly made vehicle. The Pentagon came out and said that.
When was that?
About right around like 9 months ago, right before COVID.
I remember
They said that they have recovered an unearthly made vehicle, and they released 3 UFO videos. One was from a fighter pilot. He was on Joe Rogan. Fravor, Captain Fravor or some shit like that. And it's his video, and it's a little Tic Tac. One's called the Tic Tac video, the Nimble, and the Nimitz are the 3 UFO videos that the Pentagon released. And then Trump signed the spending bill. It started the 180-day countdown to all the intelligence agencies having to release and basically give up all the intelligence that they have on that subject to the Congress and Senate.
When's that happening? When's that?
I think the 180 days is up in July. So, yeah.
So many days.
I know. Like, you know, I've always thought it was a quack. And then about a month and a half ago, we had Israel's chief of chief of security of space. Like, he works with NASA and our government pretty closely in the Air Force. And he came out and said that we've known about aliens. We work with them on Mars. There's like a base that we work with them on Mars and shit. And all this other shit, like Trump was going to expose them, and they warned him not to. And this is like a legit dude. And they asked him, "Don't you think that people are going to think you are a kook?" And he's like, "Dude, look at my credentials." He's an old guy. He didn't say dude. He's like, "Look at my He's like,
Hey,
"Look at
bro.
my credentials. Look, just look at what I have and what I've done with my life. There's everything on my history is like black projects. Yeah, and that's, you can, yeah, trigger." And he made it very clear that he was serious, and then which just makes you go back to the dude in early 2000s, Gary McKinnon, they were trying to bring him from the UK. He hacked the Pentagon and NASA for like years. They would hack them with some program that would remote control take over their computer to where like you would see the mouse on the screen and shit. Like, he would take it over basically as the user. And he found all kinds of different files about non-terrestrial like admirals and captains and privates and shit, like a list of them and a list of ships that there's no.
I thought they didn't have privates.
You know, not now. The
Yeah.
Biden just switched that.
Dude, I don't know. Like, back in this is a long time ago. I think I watched one or tried to watch one of the UFO videos, but it was just, too fuzzy. Plus my eyes are too fuzzy to catch it. But I'm torn because I think it's neat. I definitely like. I used to watch Ancient Aliens, which I think they're horse shit for the most
Now
part.
what they've become. Their first season, they had it was a one season kind of show.
Dude, it just got to where they were saying everything's aliens.
Yeah.
This peanut butter and jelly sandwich is aliens. We couldn't make jam. Get out of here. What George Suslo? What was his name? I don't know. It doesn't matter. It's Greek.
Yeah.
I don't know, but I don't know if I attribute everything to aliens, but like the only thing that I think is cool about it is like, did you ever listen to Michio Kaku, the Japanese
physicist?
Yes,
yes. Yeah, I think I've seen him on Lex Friedman, I believe. I'm not sure.
The cool thing, like he got big because he was good at talking to humans like they're children, essentially. Whenever he explains string theory and shit. But he would always say he didn't believe there were aliens because look at the way we treat ants. Either we take zero notice of them or we just squish a few and move on. And so if there are aliens here, which it seems like there probably are, they haven't squished us. You know what I mean? If they have the power to they have to, if they're here, that means they probably have to be able to like wormhole and shit. They have this crazy technology we can't even fathom. But they haven't decided, hey, fuck these people.
They would, and that's what it says. That's the big thing that all the people in the UFO community, I guess, are complaining about. The way that the Pentagon announced it was national security threat because they're being caught flown over like nuclear like sites and missile sites and military bases and stuff in restricted areas, and people need to know about them because it's a security threat, blah blah blah. And they're like, dude, if they wanted to, and all the UFO people are like, if they wanted to kill us, they would have killed us, pretty much. Like they have the technology to, and to be able to get here.
That's what COVID is, everybody.
But they just there's a new video out of supposedly, and they haven't been able to debunk it as fake, but it's these NASA spaceship, these astronauts videoing them getting up to Mars, like in the excitement in their voice and what they're talking about, and the computer in the background saying this is Houston, and they say some codes and some shit, and like it goes up to the window, and the way that the hand and the shadow on the hand, and it's like it's hard to edit the way they did it, is what these people are saying, and it looks really cool. And it'd be cool if it is, real, but
wait, so they're saying we've had people on Mars?
Yes, that we've that's like a huge conspiracy. The deep the space program, the secret space program that America, and we have. I mean, they do run secret. Just a couple of years ago on the news, they had that guy that was in space for like the longest amount of time that nobody even knew. It wasn't on the books or reported on or anything. It was an experiment or something. He spent of like a year in outer space, and the ship came back to Earth and everything, and like that's when everyone found out about it, and they covered up the vehicle that they came back in, and it was really cool. Like, I mean, that's a news thing. There was nothing conspiratorial about that. The only thing it was they didn't allow anyone to know that they were doing this experiment and they were going to have someone up there that long. And it wasn't like, it's like one of those, all right, our budget that the Congress and the American people get to see is one budget. There's two budgets. There's one that we're not allowed to see, that the Pentagon's, and that's why like every few years the Pentagon comes out and says, we can't account for, I think it's up now to like $20 trillion is the
whoops.
yeah. And last time they did it, it was like $9 or $6 trillion, and then the Pentagon's accounting section that they had just built and moved everything back in from their accounting files was hit by the 9/11 suicide attackers, they think. But there's a big conspiracy down that whole rabbit hole too.
No, of course.
I don't know. I watched one video that this guy released about a year or two ago, and he doesn't jump into all the conspiratory shit. He takes everybody that was connected as far as the Bush family, and then all the business people, and all the they found the nanoparticle, the nanothermite shit that they used to bring down demolitions, and they found those particles, and they're like, and this people is connected to them, and this. He brought the whole web of how every corporate person that was involved by money. He literally, when they say follow the money, he literally followed the money. They always say that, but they don't ever really do it. This guy did. He's like, he goes back to their college relationship, how they knew each other in Boy Scouts, and their master diddled them both and shit. It's like,
they do that.
And that's why they blew up the tower. And by the end, you're just like, whoa, this is a great comedy sketch.
Yeah, it goes all the way back to them throwing a boomerang at camp. Cool.
No, but I believe in that there's aliens or something else out there. Mathematically.
Well, yeah, of course. In the universe, for sure. I've always gone back and forth on whether I believe they've been here or anything like that. It's just, I don't know. It's
yeah, that's what I want to know is how they recovered this vehicle. And the shit.
Where did they recover it?
They didn't say where they recovered it. That's the thing. They just said they have recovered an unearthly made vehicle. So something that was not made on Earth. And it was it didn't get none of the news. Mm-hmm. Didn't hit news that nobody was talking about it. Joe Rogan brought it up once. And he's like, is nobody fucking listening? And that was my big thing. I was like, why isn't this making news? They literally came out and said, and that's, I think, because of the way the media for so long has just called them quack. Anytime it's been brought up, they've been called quacks. But it's like, if every smart physicist and astronomer out there says it's statistically and mathematically for sure that there's other life forms, why would everyone think that it's so kooky? Besides some of the kooks that are involved in it.
Well, it's also if there's a any sort of extraterrestrial out there, but they don't okay, our planet goes through, what is it, every 20 some odd thousand years there's a catastrophe. So it's if they live on a planet where it doesn't have the catastrophe, where they've actually had billions of years consecutively to build something, then yeah, they're gonna blow past us. But right now we're due for another ice age, all that. It's like how they always say the age of Aquarius and stuff like that. That's where the age of Aquarius is, where man is supposed to step out of religion and into technology. And people argue about when it is. Whenever I looked into it, age of Aquarius is supposed to start in the year 2150, right? So right now we're still in Pisces time, which is the Jesus fish. We're still in religion right now. But maybe that's why shit's starting to trickle out right now, is we're starting to break towards, hey, look, there's more than this here. We don't have to believe in the man in the clouds anymore. Yeah. We can believe in the ship in the clouds. Yeah,
yeah. That's a good way to put it.
Because but that's everywhere. It's if you want to look at the ages and everything, there's age of Aquarius. It even in the Bible,
what's Leo? What's the Leo?
I don't know that one, but I know think about whenever Moses came down with the commandments. Yeah. He came down and he got mad at all the disciples and he shattered a golden ram. That's Taurus. He shattered Taurus. And then Moses himself was the age of Aries, the ram. And then, of course, Jesus, fish symbolism everywhere in the Bible. So he's Pisces. And then it even says in the Bible, during the Last Supper, one of the apostles asks Jesus, "What should we do when he's gone, or when you're gone?" Because he's supposed to get crucified the next day, or he's being, Judas is selling him out, and he says, "Go down the street. You'll see a man holding a jug of water, and go to the house therein." Which that's that's Aquarius. Sorry, that's he's always pictured as a man pouring out water out of a jug, and house is like the constellation house. The moon is in the house of whatever tonight. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's like that's in the Bible. It's also in Hindu. They call it the yugas in Hindu, the different ages. Except I think they use bronze, silver, gold, and platinum yuga. I might be wrong about that. I'm not Hindu, but
Well, yeah, I know they all have a similar basis, and because I really looked into the ancient Mesopotamian, like the Epic of Gilgamesh.
dude, I got into a bunch of years ago, maybe 8 years ago. I got into a kick about the Hittites, because the Hittites were with the Babylonians and the Assyrians and all them. The Hittites were around, and they're mentioned in the Bible. They're mentioned in a bunch of texts, but there was very little information about the Hittites for a real long time. And those motherfuckers, they just got wiped out. You know what I mean? They got wiped from history, but they did start uncovering Hittite cities, and they were the first civilization that we know of anyway. It's like I think they were between 4,000 and 8,000 years ago that had running water, because they figured out piping systems to come down from the mountain, and they had actual running water like thousands of years before the Romans came up with the first toilets.
Yeah, that's what I've really the Hittites are part of the ancient Mesopotamian that set of mythologies, as they call it. But if you really just separate all the fugazi shit, the shit in the actual story, and just get to the brass tacks, you can see where Christianity came from. You can see where Hinduism came from. Any of the Abrahamic religions, you see it all was taken from this myth that they called that, and the fact that there's evidence that the Catholic Church really did a lot, everything they could to try to discredit and keep it hidden when they found the cuneiform text, because they knew, but they deny it. But they knew that people were going to make the connection. There's the Great Flood story that's in it, the Great Deluge, and the first human was Atum instead of Adam. It was Atum, and E or U was Eve. And it's just a lot of very similars. Eden, that's the ancient Sumerian language. This is the first civilization that created language. They created what writing is like, and they can trace every form of writing we have today to the ancient Sumerians, lettering and everything, forms like of our language and our writing. And they're the ones that first figured out math and knew how to document history, and had the story of the creation of man, which is the Epic of Gilgamesh. And the Babylonians, the Syrians, the Sumerians, Hittites, all of that was, the only issue is they did have multiple different gods. So you would see different kingdoms and cities amongst this region and these civilizations that was praised different gods, and their cities would be, and the history would be all around them, and that God was the Almighty One, and the other ones. So but in all, it's all the same story. There's still the, I think it's Enlil or U or someone like that is the actual Almighty One, but they don't really talk much. We haven't found anything that talks about that very much, about the creator of Enlil and Enki, and supposedly these Anunnaki, Igigi people that Zechariah Sitchin, the author.
Sounds like a remix.
Yeah. Yeah, well, the Anunnaki and the Igigi and Zechariah Sitchin which is an author, he's the one that kind of went against the academics by saying that the Anunnaki weren't gods and supreme beings. They were just intelligent beings from another planet. And he tried to point out a bunch of similarities. It's where the the Ancient Alien show came. That's what Eric Von Don, the guy that does that wrote, I think it's Chariots of the Gods or something like that. And he's the old guy in Ancient Aliens that's like real old. And he's one of the big speakers. But yeah. But if Zachariah Stitchin didn't have academics in translating, but he ended up translating a lot of shit supposedly wrong. I don't know. Quentin went to college for it, I just found out, and studied.
Quentin went to college?
Yeah, he studied ancient history and religion, and he went of the Middle East out there. And I was like, "Are you kidding me?" Because I've been so fucking interested, and I know that the cool story that gets all the popularity on YouTube and History Channel and all that is this Zachariah Sitchin form, but all the academic field and professionals, they discredit him, and I was like, but you can't find any real good information or straightforward information about from the other side, like they want me to do all that reading and shit, and it's like, that's not gonna happen. You better spoon feed that shit to me, god damn it.
Somebody will come up with a YouTube video soon.
Oh, they do. Well, it really goes against Graham Hancock, kind of, these guys, which I like Graham Hancock. I don't know if you've listened to any of his stuff.
A bit.
He could put me to sleep every night just talking.
It's the whole accent thing, man.
Yep.
You always just automatically think they're super smart.
Yeah. But yeah, I dug into that, and finding out Quentin was into that, because that's what his tattoo is. I don't know if you know, but he's got a big sleeve on his arm, and it's got like...
Oh, that's a big sleeve, all right.
And it's got like, up top, I think it's Egyptians, and then the Shatar or some shit like that. And then he's got the ancient Sumerian artwork on his arm. And I was like, dude, not many people our age know about this subject or you care or anything. I was like, where? And I remember at Backdoor one night, I was like, is that Inky on your arm, Inky and Lil? And he's like, he got called up to go up on stage. And he goes up there and he's like, you know what, Brad? I fucking hate talking to you. Because no one expects you to be as smart as you fucking are. Nobody knows what that is. And I was like, he's like, you do not look like you're supposed to be that intelligent. You're always talking about some shit that we don't expect. I'm like, well, I mean, I'm a geek that sits at home, gets high, and watches documentaries and listens to audiobooks and tries to write comedy sometimes.
Yeah. Dude, okay, so if you know Graham, then you probably know Randall Carlson.
Yes.
Right? Well, he also has a podcast. It's called Cosmographia, which is tedious, but very interesting. But that's not what I'm bringing up. He has a video of part of a lecture he did, right? And this is going back to the Bible, because I know more about the Bible because I was raised Catholic.
Yeah.
But so basically, I can't remember how he breaks it down, but it's only like 2.5 minutes long. In numerology, something about the way a snake moves is conducive with the Fibonacci sequence, and everybody in numerology loves the Fibonacci. But he said that a coiled snake somehow translates to the Hebrew word Mesha, which means Messiah, right? So his contention is maybe the true Messiah in that book is the snake that told Eve to eat of the tree of knowledge. So it is this little inkling that maybe, again, going towards Age of Aquarius type stuff, is that knowledge is eventually going to be what we need. But then also, since all of the ages and everything lead to we collapse again after knowledge, that maybe it's just a slow build until we all get to that apple, and then we are fucking smoked again by a meteor.
Yeah, that in his theory that's when Graham Hancock comes in with how everything resets us back to Stone Age.
I mean, yeah, man. I think about any Eastern religion with where time is cyclical. Like that's where it all comes from. It's like we've been here before. Like we've probably had microphones and shit, but then like if a glacier comes through, it grinds everything to dust and it's gone. And then after a glacier melts, you have a flood, you have sediment, everything's buried. We start, we're just people fucking on a beach again.
Yeah, yeah, and they have recovered a lot of oops art, as they call them, artifacts that are the out of place artifacts. Like they find, so what was it? They found a teacup. It looks like the saucer thing, looking in coal, like embedded in coal that would have to be hundreds of thousands of years old. They found a footprint in a rock that when it was still mud and before it became rock, it would have had to have been like a million years ago and shit like that.
Bro, I didn't research any of this before I came on, so obviously sources don't have them. But I read maybe a year and a half ago that in one of the tar pits in California, they found a skeleton that they carbon dated back to, and this is California, dated back I think at least 125,000 years, which whoever you think came here first, whether it was Asians or however Native Americans got here, that is hundreds of thousands. Over 100,000 years.
Yeah, they've
before
placing us at like 20.
Yeah,
I think. Yeah,
it's crazy.
And that's when we went from hunter gatherer, is what they're saying. But Göbekli Tepe is rewriting that. If you've heard about Göbekli Tepe and
That one's like 16,000 years or something, isn't it?
well, they have only excavated like 10 or 15% of it because there's so much of the war going on out there in Turkey, and they haven't. I don't think they've dug completely it all the way out because they keep finding each layer gets older and older. But what's crazy about it is each layer, the artwork and the stone carvings gets more detailed and intricate, but it's older. Like it's like every certain amount of years, they completely bury it. They, by hand, they buried it and then started over with, and then the lower they get, the bigger and the more intricate and detailed these carvings are, and these stones, like 3D stones of like animals and these stonework that's like not like a picture. It's not just chiseled out picture. It's actual stonework that they did.
And dude, like they also, I read a while back that they also most of the carvings are either animals or humans, and they're animals for the most part that they know have existed on this planet, but they've also found unicorns and shit like that. Like, so there might have been a horned.
It could possibly. I mean, we have plenty of horned creatures out there, and I mean, I think if you see, what is it? You see creatures like the fucking anteater or the goddamn giraffe in real life. You're like, how the fuck and why it shows you that you could have anything. Like the rhinoceros has fucking 3 of them hanging out their face.
And Asian dudes love to boil those down and drink them.
Get that pecker real hard.
It just seems so. Fuck, I'll sell them my hair if that's what they want.
I mean, yeah, they spend a lot of money on erectile dysfunction. I wish I would have gotten into that.
Dude, they're testing banana spider venom, which I think is Brazilian banana spiders. If one bites you, it can kill you by erection because it's such a powerful vasodilator that you can get this fucking massive dong. But it's so much blood flow that people have their penises explode, but not in the good way. And it's just, so they're just like, well, we're gonna use that.
Let's try that out.
We're gonna do spider venom dicks.
Yeah, because now they have all the generic versions of Viagra out, super cheap. They're like, we gotta have something new.
Where? Tell me.
Yeah, they're. It's funny about the things they waste money on. We've got erectile dysfunction figured out. Move on. Spending so much goddamn money. Just stop hiking prices on shit that you don't need to hike prices on.
Yeah, AIDS medicine.
Yeah, that insulin. Insulin. You know what the patent? The two guys that created insulin that then patented it first sold the patent for $1. That's all, because they said how can we try to fucking keep this from anybody that needs it? They have to have it. It's insulin. They have to have it. Like, just like the virus, there's a smallpox virus. The doctor that made that gave it away because he's like, we have to have it to survive. Like, how am I going to try to profit off of something that has to? And this was before everything was publicly funded. Mm-hmm. That's the big thing with these pharma companies. I'm like, wait a minute. When you find out that 90% of the research and everything done on it was publicly funded with tax dollars, it's like, and they're charging how much?
Dude, that's
we should charge them.
That's why Tesla got back in the day. He was trying to do that electricity for everybody thing. Like, and he did it. And I believe it was in Colorado that he did his first test of like lighting a light bulb from a mile away, with just electricity that he was shooting through the air like FM airwaves.
Yeah.
You know? And then he was building it in New York, and JP Morgan, who was funding him, was like, wait, we can't charge people for this? Yeah, you gotta go.
Yeah, and because JP Morgan was heavily funded by coal and steel and everything with the Carnegies and all of those guys, which we've been bailing out since the fucking 30s. That was our first form of, if the people that are really into their labels, we are a socialist, a corporate socialist company. From the people's definitions today, the idea of that socialism is actually just corporations are owned, publicly traded corporations would be owned by the workers. Like the workers would all vote on what.
We need more weed breaks, bro.
The workers would all vote on what the company does each step, instead of a small group of board members. That's also
Brownie Tuesday. Who's in?
That's why when I heard about it, because me and Zach Bukovich got into an argument about it, because I was like, I'm a capitalist. I believe in capitalism, because I always thought that was everything else went against the right to be able to freely trade in the market and everything, like compete in the market. And he's like, oh, you still get to compete. It's just if you create this huge entity like Amazon and all that, then and you employ thousands of people, the people that make the company, because you can't have these corporations without the workers. No company can grow if they don't have the employees to make it grow, unless it's an automated company, you know. Economies are driven by consumers. If the consumers can't consume because they don't have enough money to consume, then the demand's gonna fucking severely drop. Supply's gonna pretty much stagnate, and prices are all gonna fall. Nobody makes money, so they just pay a little bit more. But besides that, they got to get into this profit mindset that we have, and that they blame it on capitalism. But I truly believe capitalism is just the freedom to compete. Like, I can start a company, electrical company if I want to, and try to take out the Sachs Electric Company or Ameren. You know, I could start my own if I had the money and the funding and everything to do it. I could. And that's what I feel capitalism is. It's that keeps and prevents monopolies from happening. But we've gotten so regulated in our country, deregulated, I mean, with the politicians going from that revolving door effect where they go, oh, they didn't get reelected, so they become lobbyists. They start working for lobbyists, making millions of dollars by just going to hang out in Washington, D.C. with all their politician buddies that they just were in office with. And then the next 4 years, they go up for re-election, and they get elected, and they leave their job as a lobbyist, just like Biden's administration. A lot of those guys are all Raytheon, Lockheed Martin, all these military-industrial guys, the guys that create all the jets and the missiles and the bombs that we manufacture. Because that's where the big money's at.
Well, yeah.
That's why we got rid of manufacturing jobs, because all that little stuff that we would need to put together virus, vaccine stuff that we would need, that's all made in China now. All the stuff we needed for like COVID.
That's the real conspiracy.
No, well, we just got rid of that. We shipped all those jobs over to China because it was much cheaper to produce the product there. and instead of making it in America, but because we sell, we don't care about some fucking mask and gloves and some little plastic stuff.
Dude, that's like a
That's
that's like
like
a classic toxic codependent relationship though.
Yeah.
It's like virus happens some I don't know. Some people think it was set out on purpose. Some people think it was an accident. I don't know. But
I think it's man-made. I mean,
happens
call
in
me
China.
conspiratorial, but
Happens in China, and then China's like, "Oh, it's okay, little puppies. Look, I got you this vaccine. Eat it out of my hand. It's fine.
yeah. But if you really look into it,
Never leave me."
yeah, there's like a 2015, and it's crazy because I was actually out there working all the time. Chapel Hill,
China?
No, Chapel Hill University has a level 4 virological research lab of some sort, and they came out in Science magazine, one of the Science magazines, and was kind of boasting about how they had figured how to manipulate and mutate the coronavirus gene to be more acceptable to the human being, and they caught a bunch of flack, bunch of fucking backlash from the scientific and medical community, and they shut down the program and shipped all the people that were funding it got shipped to Wuhan. And this is all paperwork. You can look at the magazine article and everything, and it's still up. But the big conspiracy that they called out was that agenda shit, the Agenda 201 or whatever, the or Agenda 20 whatever. That was a real thing that the John Hopkins University held. It was all these virological scientists and Bill Gates and Fauci and all them. They made a simulation of what would happen to the world if a virus, and guess what virus they used? This was 2 years before the virus was the COVID happened.
Polio.
No, they used a coronavirus that mutated from pigs
I
instead of bats. Yeah, and it was like dead on. All the news, they did a mock simulation of and they set it up into a video, and they called it Agenda 21. It was the big huge meeting. And they basically got everything dead right, how the community is going to act, how all these conspiracies were going to come out about it, and how they were going to have issues with getting vaccines out, and which parts of society were going to break down first, and all this stuff that they were going to need to do to be prepared. And they just dropped the fucking ball. Like, you did this literally a year before this shit happened, unknowingly. I'm not saying there's a conspiracy there. That happened. They did this. It's all, you can go on YouTube and watch the 3-hour long simulation video and the meeting.
Nope.
And it's just like, holy shit, how are you guys this unprepared? You guys really fucked up. You should take this down because it shows that you guys are fucking suck at your job, obviously. You had a whole millions of dollar simulation that you put together with actors and all this other stuff, and you still failed. Like, you've been talking about this shit for years. And when it came down to it, they were like, you choked. Spaghetti on mom's sweat. I don't know. You puked. They really fucking shit the bed on it. That was the only thing. Like, I didn't get on none of the COVID conspiracy on any of that. It was just when there's like, it's fact. Like, that was done in 2015. That article about them playing and mutating the coronavirus to make it more acceptable to the human genes and with a protein and all this other shit. It's like, then you start hearing about it and all these other fucking news things, and they're talking about how it's created. It's like, wait a minute, this was an article from back then, and this guy that you've been calling a conspirator guy, and like, who do I believe?
Mm-hmm.
Well, it's just that I made my own conclusion that this was out in 2015. They were talking about fucking around with it and doing shit with it. Why? Who's not to believe they did? And
I don't know, especially like because there are those conspiracies out there too, where they talk about how who Illuminati, whoever, they want to do, they want to reduce the population by like 80%. So like that was a conspiracy back whenever I was in my conspiracy days.
Oh yeah, the depopulation. But there is a lot of rich people out there that have some power that believe in some weird shit.
Well,
and
we really
publicly
don't need
talked
all
about
these
it.
people.
It's true.
Like if I was managing the earth, I'd probably be like, all right, how
rid
about
of
y'all
some of
stop
these poor
fucking?
Yeah.
Because like, I mean, that's one thing that like religion was good for back in the day is they were like, hey, I got an idea. What if we convince these people to be scared of a bunch of things so they stop fucking in the mud and they start building shit? You know what I mean? Like that's essentially the purpose of religion. Hey guys, you should be scared of what you're doing because there's a big finger waggling at you for doing this shit.
Do you think if it wasn't, if we could all just get, if the world got along and there was no war, nobody like wanting to kill each other, do you think it would stagnate creation? Like, because you think a lot of our technological advancements are because we use them for evil, we're over good. We don't ever create anything in America where a lot of the most technological, even today, any, you know, economically advanced country out there, if any inventor from their country creates something that can be used in war, is the first thing that's snatched up, the patent stolen from them, the shit's like.
Even if they create something innocent, though, they make it for war. But I don't know. I get torn on this because I never understood it. Like, because I don't have a tribal mindset.
Yeah.
But like, I think there has to be a gene in people. Otherwise, it wouldn't be everywhere. You know what I mean? Like, humans seem to be like, hey, if you're on the other side of this line, we don't like you. Hey, if you're red and not blue, we don't like you. If you believe in a different thing, you know what I mean? It's so prevalent and always has been that I think it has to be some gene.
Yeah, well, no, that's, and that they just haven't mapped out yet. Mm-hmm. Yeah, and they're doing a lot of crazy shit with the genes, like with that CRISPR. Have you seen anything about CRISPR?
I mean, I keep my broccoli in it.
Yeah, no, it's this genetic and modifying tool that geneticists can use, and it's like people on YouTube scientists are fucking working on their genetics. Like there's a guy that used it in China, a doctor for the government, and his friend had AIDS or the HIV.
That dude fucks.
And he manipulated the genes of the embryo of their kids, so the gene wouldn't receive the HIV fucking virus it wouldn't be transferred over. And he got in a lot of trouble because it's a human experiment, basically. Mm-hmm. And he came out and said that he successfully did it, and they fucking crucified him.
Did they have the kid?
Yeah.
And how old was that kid?
I don't know. It was twins, I believe.
But like, same with the vaccine. It's like, I want to see where those kids are in 18 years. You know what I mean? What if they just have giant vaginas on their face? You know, I'm just,
True.
It's possible.
But I mean, that's the thing. That's one of the big ones I read every morning is like, and I don't understand half of it, but it's the science shit that comes out, like all the new discoveries and technology and the quantum shit and genetics, and like they've come out. We've had two different groups of scientists and researchers, one in Israel and another in Australia, have come out and said they have figured out how to lengthen life. They know how to reverse age. Israel knows how to reverse your aging.
I am feeling very Jewish right now.
Yeah. They have found a way supposedly to lengthen the telomeres of our chromosomes, which telomeres, once they start getting fouled out, is what causes old age, and your chromosomes and your cells to be more susceptible to being mutated into cancerous or not fighting against certain
that's why
bacteria.
That's why my eyes, like the disease snowballs as I get older, is like the healthy cells don't have the strength to, fight off whatever gene mutation it is anymore.
Yeah, that is from the telomeres of the chromosomes they get shorter and shorter, and that's basically the cause of death. That's the old age. We all know, like,
and prostate cancer.
Yeah, besides the cancers, but at old age, just if you die, someone that dies of just old age, it's because the chromosomes, no longer produce the things that it needs to fight off. But they know how. They did this study with like fucking a shit ton of old 60-year-olds, 60 to like 70-year-olds of a high pressure, pure oxygen it's this chamber they put in. It's like high pressure chamber with whatever, and they figured that out. And then another one has figured it out with like So I think they do with blood, and they've been working on blood transfusions or like you could go to Hollywood and buy 21-year-olds blood, like up to a couple quarts.
I'm in.
Yeah, yeah, and they say they feel rejuvenated and everything with all their young cells
Oh,
give them
yeah.
a kick. But I think the telomere process is a much smarter, better way. I think it's getting down there to the brass tacks. Those telomeres, if they can keep those going, it can make you live longer. And who's to say we don't? They say every fucking year that we advance in our technological, bases medically and scientifically, our government advances like 6 years. So 1 to 6. What do we have? And how long has that been going for? Like,
Yeah.
I don't know who wrote this statistic, but they should be like in space building planets, all right, if they're that far ahead of us. And there should be no cancers and all that other shit.
Well, yeah, they're the only thing I really keep up. I kind of stopped paying attention to health stuff, honestly, but the only reason I'm kind of up to date on what's going on with my own eye disease is because my sister has gone and done these experimental things in Germany. She's gone twice, and they've actually really improved her. Like, they told me that I could go have it done, but my eyes are so far gone that they can't promise results, and I don't really want to spend 25 to 30 grand on a maybe,
Yeah.
But my sister's, like, she has the same disease, it just isn't as bad in her. But yeah, dude,
Did they just do a retina, their first retina transplant or some shit.
dude,
Yeah, I read
they're
about.
starting to transplant entire eyes.
Yeah, yeah.
So if they, I mean, yeah, that'd be dope. Because like right now, man, my retinas are fucking. They're last time I did a field vision test, like, I mean, honestly, they could have just brought me to a soccer field and been like, "Can you see it?" And I'd be like, "Nah." You know what I mean? They didn't need to put my head in the tube. It's pretty bad right now. Have you ever done a field vision test? You put your head in this dome and you just use one eye at a time, and they just have lights come in. You know what I mean? And you click the button whenever you can see
I've
it.
done that.
I got to click the button twice with my right eye and once with my left, and that was it. So like it was. That's why I don't go to the eye doctor anymore, man. It's fucking depressing. But
The doctor's like, oh shit, like,
Yeah.
you should have clicked like 20 times by now.
20 nothing. They did the test for so long. There were so many minutes of no clicks. I was just sitting there telling the nurse jokes because I was like, "This is boring, isn't it?" Some jokes, but no, I mean they're doing for specifically for my disease right now. They're doing it's a double surgery in China, but the one in Germany is not a surgery; it's a treatment, and I don't 100% even know what they do, but like. Yeah, so like
Well, China wants to create super fucking soldiers, and they were just approved for it.
they're doing, China doesn't care about human experiments. They have too many people to give a shit.
Yeah, well, they got that whole fucking camp of Uyghurs, the Muslim
I'm
Uyghur.
sorry, what? You can't say that word anymore.
Exactly. Yeah, that's what I thought they were. But it's a group of Muslims, I guess, Uyghur immigrants or something. They're from Uyghurland. I don't know what the name
That's
is.
not a land. That's not even a land. Hold on, I gotta go pee. Should I crawl?
No.
I really regret saying if you record that, I'll kill you. I'm very proud of that. Did you get any of it?
I mean, the mics are on.
Well, all I'm gonna say is that urine went out to the cheesy gordita crunch Ronaldo and the Jesus Ronaldo crunch Jesus gordita crunch. It's the same, Mike Ratcliffe.
Well, the bar's been raised, ladies.
Ladies, who's into that?
Well, I guess
I mean,
we've been.
There websites
Yeah.
dedicated to it, I guess.
Yeah, build a website of just people's pee recording of the sound of them peeing. I'm sure somebody's into it
Of course.
in this world, but I think your old lady just went out to the car for something. I think we've been going for 3 hours. Yeah,
Jesus.
where's your next show?
Next show is February 12 and 13, Mason City Limits. And after that, I'm going to be in Columbia, Missouri, February 18th at the East Side Tavern. Don't know who else is on that show yet, but
They do running open mics, don't they?
I don't know. What I'm doing is 6 comics, 10 minutes each showcase thing. I do believe they also have an open mic, but I'm not very familiar. I've been talking to Corbin LeMaster.
Corbin.
He's a good dude. I met him at, what was it? Oh, the Helium competition, and he's come to Funny Bone and Backdoor a couple times. Good dude. Very funny.
Nice. Anything else you got coming up? And where can they find you on your socials?
Dude, I'm really only on Twitter and Facebook. It's just my name. I have music up there. Go check that out at Couver Music. But no, yeah. I mean, I'm planning on. I still occasionally put out. We've fallen off. Me and Tommy's TikTok extravaganza, but you can look up Mosslander_3. But I'm also going to start doing TikToks too because I write a lot of one-liners. I'm just going to put them out.
Yeah.
I just like jokes.
Yeah. No, I hear you. One-liners are my thing. I like them. I always love finding good one-liners. I found one on. It's one of the big ones I search on YouTube because I like finding new young comedians that are up and coming and shit. It's like that's especially a good storyteller that's like open mic night, second open mic night, and then it's like, damn, is this your second time? You're lying. And yeah, I like finding the new people. I want to find some good comedians to put a show on eventually, especially when COVID ends. I'll be doing the Bobby thing again,
Dude,
hopefully.
hit me up.
Yeah.
I've met some out-of-towners in both Nashville and in the Lexington area that are good. And dude, I'd love to help some of the Springfield comedians get down here too. Like some of them are fucked. I mean, they got some funny motherfuckers up there. It's just they're unfortunately an hour and a half away.
I just need to really find a good venue to let me rent out like the stage and everything for a night to put shows together. I've been thinking about it. I'll just do that and actually find a decent comedian that's a few $100s and book them for a show.
One thing I would say is try to find a venue because I've produced a couple shows. I didn't like the anxiety of producing shows because if it happened to suck, then I just felt like I let down 5 people instead of just myself, But dude, there are places you gotta hunt. But if you think about it, man, whenever shit is rolling, these bars are letting in. They're having cover bands perform, and cover bands play for 4 hours, but they're giving them between $400 to $1,600 a night. So if you just say you're the entertainment for the night, like actually get the business side of it down. Get yourself a card, even though nobody uses cards anymore. And, tell them you got this podcast to promote it and everything and show them that you have advertising. You can get butts in the door. They should pay you to do the show. Like, I get that Gary has to pay the sound guy at Red Flag and everything, and that's not cheap. But Red Flag is a different beast. If you're doing a bar show, I mean, Red Flag, that's an awesome.
I wonder what he's spending for that. Like, I don't like the venue for comedy per se, but music, it would be it's going to be a great music venue for sure. But with the way they have to keep everything so spread out in such a big place, it's great that they can do that and still bring in enough people. But the typical anywhere you look up, like anytime if you research doing a show, which I've done many times, putting together a show, the biggest thing they're talking about, control the room and set up the room to where everyone is pointed to the stage and everyone can see the stage and the comedian. You don't want an over-towering stage.
If it's possible for the bar to hire a server that night, that would be huge as well. Just because, you know, you don't want people to get up and leave their seats at all. You don't. So yeah, dark room, no bar lights, no TVs. If possible, if they have a spotlight, just use that light. Don't use those red and blue and green stage lights.
Yeah,
you know.
yeah.
But I mean, that's also depends on what house lighting they have. But
I mean, you should be able to. It's spotlight today, pretty easy to make. You know, lighting's gotten cheap. I mean, I'm just using what I've had laying around, and some extra, some fucking like bright ass bulbs. But yeah, you know. So that's what you got coming up next. You're not doing you doing no sketches. You know, you said the STL Live thing.
no, right? I mean, I haven't written a sketch in forever. Like,
You should come hang out with me and Mike one night when we do it and fucking throw some ideas around. No pressure.
Yeah.
No, nothing like that. It's just it's more fun than anything. It's
Yeah,
like shit
dude.
talking.
I'm not opposed, and dude, anytime, because you know I'm always just mining pretty much anything for jokes. So even if we just come up with a sketch and I think of a one-liner, I'm gonna be like, oh, that's a bit.
Yeah.
That's
Oh,
mine
yeah.
now.
Yeah, no, that's just like I've bounced off, just bouncing ideas. I don't want to make some big STL Live kind of organization thing that they have, or community like that. It's just people that I enjoy hanging out and talking with that I know are funny that can give a good 2 cents and
Yeah.
enjoy to see the content, because you
and
watch
right
it.
now that's all it is you just need to put out content. That's why that's why we were talking the last couple days about doing TikToks, where I'm just gonna, you know, it's just me just gonna tell a joke and that's it. 8 seconds. You
Yeah,
know?
no,
Get
that
the fuck
I've-
out of there.
I thought about doing that. I've gone through started to go through all my sets at the like comedy clubs and stuff, and just pulling the jokes that hit hard. Just that 10-second clip of me doing the one-liner and then a little bit of laughter and ending it right there.
Dude,
for YouTube short shelf videos.
You can do that, but I also think, I mean, TikTok's just it's just a different vehicle, you know, and it seems like just doing it in your living room seems to be more the trend. Like I also want to do that, you know, just,
Yeah.
but it's also, it's probably a little bit of ego, you know,
Yeah.
to just be like, hey, look at these laughs I'm getting, motherfucker. But, you know, so I'm sure I'll chop up some videos and do that as well. But for the most part,
yeah, that's all because I thought about just doing them at home, but I don't know. I don't know what TikTok. I've never even been on it or seen anything from it. Is that how everybody's doing it on there? I know it's usually kids dancing to songs, is what I thought.
Oh, I can't wait to do that part. No, no. I mean, I hate TikTok. I really do. Anytime if Monica has it on, it's so I hate how nothing's connected. You know what I mean? It'll play an upbeat thing for about 12 seconds, and then it goes to somebody crying, and then it goes to a breakup video, and then it goes to somebody giving you self-care advice, and I'm just like, I don't like.
That's what Mike said. He's like, somebody, who did I have over? Or it was either Quentin or Mike. He's like, I downloaded it just to see it, and literally there was one video that was like happy, and the next one literally was a guy getting shot and dying and being arrested. I was like, what?
It's it's just an emotional roller coaster, and I'd rather listen to an audiobook. You know what I mean? Where it's like, I know what's happening in this audiobook.
Yeah, I do the audiobooks and podcasts at work a lot, because I luckily have been doing my job long enough to where it's just like a robot thing, you know, just repetitive tasks. Kind of. You always bump into something as a carpenter building a house. They don't send the right shit. Something stupid. But you don't have to worry about that. They've never tried to give you some easy Slack job.
Oh, dude, I mean, the only jobs I've ever really, like, actual grown-up jobs is I did computer shit for a time.
Do you have something that helps you see with the computer?
No.
No?
I probably need it. Again, I have just a little bit of vision in this eye.
Okay.
And so if my computer screen is inverted, like, honestly, whenever I was doing the software stuff, I think that was whenever this eye went weird. Because, like, you know, you just kind of get random blind spots punched in. And I started losing my central vision in this eye, but I had to stare at code
all day, every day. And so this eye would kind of fuck me up. So I had to read with this eye, and I kind of trained myself to push this eye up and out of the way so I could read. And then I kind of gave myself a weird eye.
Oh, you can, anybody ever talking shit, like, don't think I can't see you. Do you not see?
Well, generally I can't. There's good lighting here. Fluorescence. Thank you, Tesla.
Yeah, Tesla which is a lot of conspiracies behind Tesla. And did you know there's a CIA?
He's an alien.
Yeah, CIA's got a fucking.
There's no way he wasn't an alien.
The CIA has reports saying he's from Venus of some sort.
Bro, like, if you look into we're going down another rabbit hole, but look into Mark Twain in conjunction with Tesla. Because Twain and Tesla were friends. And Twain, because they destroyed a lot of Tesla stuff.
They took it all right when he died out of his,
But Mark Twain has some writings, and again, it's just dumbed down because Twain isn't a scientist. But he would just drunkenly go to Tesla's workshop because Tesla also hardly ever slept. And so he'd just show up pissed drunk at 4 a.m. And there's a story, because again, I wrote a term paper about the dude, of Tesla literally holding a ball of green fire and just handing it to Twain. And he's just holding fire in his hand. And again, he's pissed drunk, so who knows? But just combustion that doesn't burn you. You know what I mean? It's insane to think about.
Yeah, but the things that he was thinking and doing, it was, when you really dig into it, they're just now in the little science article stuff that I read all the time. They're just tapping into it. Like he was talking about, the terms that's used religiously is the Akashic records, I guess, is like the cloud of all knowledge. Mm-hmm. Like every thought, all knowledge is caught into this thing. And scientists now have theorized that there could be, because our thoughts produce frequencies, which frequencies are energy, and you can't destroy it. It goes somewhere. They know it goes up. So they think it gets caught in the stratosphere of some sort, and that it may be possible to tap into some way to be able to harness it or some shit. A lot of the language and words they use is beyond my knowledge, but I can grasp the main thing they're talking about is they may be able to find where the energy goes from your thoughts and the brain waves and everything.
Bro, what if that's the next step then? The next step is, okay, since our world keeps getting crushed by catastrophe every 24,000 years, they're finally able to tap into memories from 26,000 years ago. And they're just like, this is how we do all this shit.
Well,
mic drop.
The conspiracy with the Catholic Church is that they have a machine in the Vatican. This Pope put there is reports.
It's called a Sibian machine.
Is that what it is?
No, that's a dildo.
Oh yeah. But no, there's this machine that the Pope could look into. This was like back in the 60s or 70s. And view history, and could watch, and he watched like the crucifixion of Jesus, and like actually view it in a linear, and he could go to any time he wanted.
Ranked it 1 out of 5 stars.
2-star.
Not rewatchable.
They should have. I knew the Rotten Tomatoes was wrong.
Rotten Tomatoes on Jesus.
But that's one of the conspiracies. But yeah. Tesla has written that there is these records, and he can tap into, or he knows how to get to them, or something like that. And all the shit that he was working on, just the fact that he, like you were talking about the free electricity, he said he could illuminate the night with the particles in the sky already.
But like light from no source.
Yeah, for free.
Yeah,
all around. He could turn night into day, I think, is the statement, or something like that, and. Mm-hmm. And if you really look at the way, like the old science stuff back in the day with like anti-gravity, back in the 50s and 60s, they were making, and companies and car places were making models and designs of like anti-gravity vehicles. And it was a big, huge explosion, and all these reports and everything in that field of study was advancing. And then all of a sudden it just was like, well, we're going to stop talking about that. We're going to shush. And they have patents on the shit. It's like, why aren't we using it? If we got the patent, it means that it's a viable, usable product. They have the science and the the fundamentals, that everything that you need to say that it'll work. If the patent's real, that means it'll work. Why don't they just put it? Because I guess that's another thing, is there's a shit ton of things out there that we've done the math and all the research for, but we haven't put the money towards to like apply the research for it. Like there's so many different creations and inventions and things that we've learning that we won't see ever created just because we don't put the money towards them to be created. Like we know they can, but it's not useful for whatever their goal is, like whatever they're looking for. And it does seem like they are. It can't be free energy. That's got to be out there already. Like you said, Tesla. And shit, they're making it legal left and right in all kinds of states right now. Solar energy, making that a legal. And there's some states that's had it illegal since the 50s to harness your own use your own solar panels and not be tied to the grid, which defeats the whole purpose of solar panels, because if we lose electricity for some crazy reason and you're tied to the grid, your electricity system doesn't work because it's down, because everything's looped into there and loops back out to you. And it's like, fuck that, off the grid. Tesla, that's what those Elon Musk battery banks are for. Use those and just hold the fucking shit. But I'm not smart enough to figure that out yet. But it was one of the fastest growing jobs in the past few years as a solar panel technician. Installing and everything. I contacted Tesla to try, because he's supposedly his solar, not Tesla, Elon Musk.
I was gonna say.
He's got a company with it that's made some pretty gnarly advances, and he's looking for contractors instead of like creating this company that has thousands and thousands of different positions. He's just going to subcontract it all out and be the distributor of the technology and the actual solar panels. And they're shingles. It's the shingles. There's not these big huge square things. They're like shingles on your roof pretty much. It looks really fucking futuristic and cool, of course.
Yeah, they came up with roads like that, I think in Sweden, where there were solar powered roads, but they would eliminate street signs because there would also be LED screens.
Yeah, and they would have, and they say that they're right now working on doing that with that, and adding in like sensors that bing to your car and tell you that there's like black ice, the temperature of the roads and everything.
Well, I mean, yes, but they also can warm up to melt that ice as well. So it's like, it seems like something that would be, I mean, it would ruin the entire infrastructure of the country for a time, but you know, it just seems like, why isn't this happening?
Well, I think it would make our infrastructure side of things blow up. It would be boom, because last time we had a great economy and everybody, the lowest like unemployment rate besides when Trump was in office, from what their numbers, but they did manipulate a lot of things by taking a lot of those numbers and getting rid of them, because people that didn't file unemployment were no longer counted, and there's a lot of people that don't file unemployment that are unemployed. But there was when they did the whole infrastructure thing. They built all the highways, you know, when what was that, the 60s, 50s?
Well, I sure don't know.
I forget which president it was, but he was the one that came in and built
Taft.
built all of our, basically all our highways. And our highways are actually for military use. If like we ever get into a war, and like here, if the Soviets would have came, highways would have been shut down and blocked off, and they're designed for the military, believe it or not. Especially, you can notice this when you get out to Virginia, out there and like around Norfolk and where the world's largest Navy base and everything is. You can definitely see, because there's a lot of extra roading that's just like, if they set it up the right way, they set it up and change it when we have hurricanes and everyone's trying to evacuate. They'll have it to where everyone can, like a mass amount of vehicles, like fleets of vehicles can be, you know, can get back and forth in a direction. So that's what they're really set. I didn't know that. My dad told me. He's like, oh yeah, because my grandpa and uncles and shit helped build a bunch of the shit out there. Like we have the underwater tunnel. We have a tunnel that you drive and it goes underwater instead of a bridge. And it's like a mile or something. It's fucking long. And my grandpa and great uncle or something like that helped build it. And they're like, that's cool. But how the fuck did that happen? How did they build it? Like, it's like concrete. They have like semi trucks driving in it, and then you see it. You're driving, and you're like on this bridge, and it just goes down into the water, into a tunnel, and you go in, and like you see just water, and as you're going down into the tunnel. And this was built back in like the fucking 70s. We've had the technology to build shit like that, you know. So I don't know. Yeah. I think we're working on 4 hours. You got anything you want to tell the people?
Hail Satan.
Hail Satan. You heard the man. All right. Oh God. This one's gonna take a long time to upload, but they're not here in the fucking country.